It is 6 o'clock. Good morning, live from the Circus Sports at the Mint Kentucky Downs Studios. I'm Justin Hawkins. Week 16 of the NFL season wrapped up with Monday Night Football last night. 48-27, 49ers win over the Colts. 49ers quarterback Brock Purdy threw for 295 yards, 5 touchdowns, all going to 4 different players for the Colts. Phillip Rivers threw for 277 yards, 2 touchdowns, both wide receiver Alec Pierce, and also an interception. The 49ers get their 5th consecutive win, who are now at 11-4. And for the Colts, it marks their 6th loss out of the last 7 games, and they now sit at 8-7. How the game impacts the playoff picture: the loss for the Colts allows the Jaguars, Bills, and Chargers all to make the playoffs. The 49ers are in with the win, and the Lions lost to the Steelers yesterday, or on Sunday, rather. And while the Colts are not eliminated just yet, there are just 4 open playoff spots remaining as 2 weeks to go in the season. And in other NFL news, Steelers wide receiver DK Metcalf was suspended yesterday for 2 games without pay. Per the NFL, the punishment is for conduct detrimental to the NFL for initiating a physical confrontation with a fan during Sunday's game against the Detroit Lions. Metcalf will appeal, but per Ian Rappaport this morning, if it's upheld based on his contract, it could void not just the rest of the season's salary, but also $45 million in future guarantees. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you got to go to USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans involves this is 104.5 The Zone.
Tuesday morning, off and running. Good morning, and welcome in to Ramona Will on 104.5 The Zone, streaming live on 104.5 The Zone TV, Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch. The number, 615-737-1045. I'm Will Bowling. Justin Hawkins is at the controls. Ramon Foster on his way. I'm soloing here tomorrow, not today. Ramon will be here soon, and we will have a full show ready for you. Austin Price, as always, at 8:20. Emory Hunt of CBS Sports joins us at 9:20. An original Cam Ward believer. Many of you Cam Ward believers after Sunday's win over the Kansas City Chiefs. So Emory will talk to us about what he saw on Sunday, what he's seen this season. Big question as well in hour 2 coming up. Can this season still be considered a success for Cam Ward? If he continues to play the way he did Sunday, the way he has really since the bye week, over the last 2 games, can we take the whole body of work and say it was a good year? Justin Hawkins, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good.
We are 2 days away, my friend.
We are.
I'm excited.
From Thursday.
Yeah.
From Christmas. Looking forward to that, and it kind of feels like a Thursday to us today, honestly.
It kind of does.
Because tomorrow is our Friday. Again, no shows Thursday or Friday this week or next week. And we're just rolling right along.
Yeah.
Roads are a lot emptier. I went to
no school.
My grocery store. Well, I went to my grocery store yesterday around 4 o'clock, and usually that's like an hour excursion. It's like 30 minutes. Many people have already left for their vacations, left to see family, or just don't have school and are just staying in making cookies and things.
That can be a little surprising because a lot of people do last-minute shopping as they get ready for the holidays. All the family comes over. You got to get your groceries in, got to make all these big meal plans and this and that. So a lot of times when we go to the store, it's very packed.
Right.
But so that's a little surprising, but it's nice.
You know, it was packed yesterday.
Uh-oh.
The suite in Lucas Oil Stadium housing Phillip Rivers' children. Every time they cut to it, there were more children in there. Just children.
They just
everywhere.
continue to populate?
Yeah. Well, I mean, he continues to populate the earth.
Well, he's almost got his starting 11 there.
Honestly. He has got a soccer lineup with a red card.
You know, for a 44-year-old who hasn't played football since 2020, he looks pretty good.
Not bad at all. 48-27 last night. San Francisco 49ers over the Indianapolis Colts. The problem is the defense that looks like it is playing with 10.
And I did not have that on my bingo card last night.
Have what?
That the defense would not be as good as the offense was.
I'll be honest, that defense without Sauce Gardner or, their other really good corner, in Travarius Ward, does not look good.
Yeah, it's their 6 out of 7.
Does not look good.
Yeah, loss-wise. 6 lost out of the last 7 games after starting 7-1. It's crazy.
DeForest Buckner back. Didn't really matter. Leatu Latu had a strip sack, resulted in a 3-yard Niners gain because Jake Tonja still caught the loose ball and ran for positive yards. It was that kind of night for the Indianapolis defense. We'll start on the winning side of this and breaking it down. What a difference a couple of weeks make for Brock Purdy on Monday Night Football. He was terrific in this game just 4 weeks after, I don't even think he broke 200 yards against the Carolina Panthers in Week 12 on Monday Night Football. That was still a game that San Francisco won. But when you go to that night, 20-9, 23 of 32, 193, a touchdown and 3 interceptions. Since that game, Brock Purdy has looked like himself, and the San Francisco 49ers are a juggernaut on offense. Now, I have no idea how far this team can go with the injuries that it has on defense. You talk about missing Bosa, you talk about missing Fred Warner, the different pieces they've had to put on the back end of that secondary as it already was. But since that Panthers game, over the last 3, Brock Purdy has played the Browns, Titans, and Colts. He's completed 69% of his passes for 758 yards, 9 touchdowns, 1 interception, 8.2 yards per attempt. He has only been sacked 4 times. He's turned the ball over twice. This San Francisco offense is legit, and they are putting themselves in the contender conversation in a much different way than they usually do. Usually, I feel like they are marketed and led by their defense and just do enough on offense. Or even if they are still good on offense, it is management of the game to a wide array of athletes, a bunch of dudes that can just take 2-yard routes and 5-yard routes and turn them into 20 and 30-yard games. It doesn't feel like that to me watching this team. It feels like Brock Purdy is taking a step. And I know it's only 3 games. I know those are not overly formidable opponents, especially this version of the Colts. But that's still a good defense in Cleveland. Titans' unique circumstances around them playing San Francisco. And when Coach Dave McGinnis says, I've never seen something in my 39 years in the league, meaning the 3 safeties the Titans had hurt in 1 game against San Francisco, I think that's significant. And then Indy, at this point, that Indy defense is awful. Awful. What do you think? Is San Francisco a legit contender for you in the NFC?
Well, what's hard to gauge it on is the other 2 teams that are in their own division. For the Rams, for the Seahawks, is they're the 3rd best team, and in a lot of conferences, or a lot of divisions rather, they would probably be the top spot. But here they are. Now, you also got to give credit to Robert Saleh for doing a great job with these injuries. I mean, nobody would want to take on the task of having Nick Bosa down, Fred Warner down, a lot of your safety. It's just, there's a lot of injuries, but I think what you're talking about in terms of Brock Purdy, in his first few years in the league, you could be considered a game manager, possibly. Now he's being the reason why they're having success on offense. It's not just that he's got all these weapons, no more Debo, no more Brandon Ayuk. Like, he's got George Kittle, Juwan Jennings, Ricky Pearsall.
Who I don't even think he played in this game, did he? Ricky Pearsall?
Oh, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
No, he did not.
Yeah, he didn't have much of an impact.
But this season he does.
Right.
But
right.
What you're seeing is he's leading the offense more than years past, where he's just kind of being like, hey, you're open, I'm just going to get you the ball efficiently. Now he's the lead in the clubhouse.
No doubt.
I think that's what's the difference.
Yeah, I think there is still a little bit of concern, though, in how that defense managed 44-year-old Phillip Rivers yesterday.
Yeah.
San Fran entered last night 18th in yards allowed per game, 23rd in passing yards allowed per game. They just cannot get pressure on opposing quarterbacks. I think it was 16 sacks coming into this. 31st in pressure rate. Only Carolina is worse in pressure rate this season. Yet somehow still, San Francisco ranks 11th in points allowed per game at 20.9. On the flip side of this, looking at the Indianapolis perspective, I think what Phillip Rivers is doing is very impressive. And I am not here to take anything away from a 44-year-old quarterback who legitimately, Justin, looks like he's shot putting the football every single time that he throws it. I don't know how many of our listeners have seen a shot put happen in person where you take the shot put ball, you put it up by your neck, and you just
push it.
Like I feel like Phillip Rivers should be grunting like Maria Sharapova every time he throws the football.
Like he's got a huge.
It's legitimately what it like.
It takes a lot of effort to get the ball down the field,
and that's like a Phillip Rivers 10-yard gain. You're like, oh, okay, wow, Phil, that took a lot of work. Accurate ball, but anyway.
I mean, to be fair, the last 5 years of his career, it looked like that anyways.
That's true. But
I mean,
even more
he always
so
had
now.
that sidearm.
So what I'm saying is, though, like, obviously I'm not going to take anything away from Phillip Rivers. 23 of 35, 277, 2 sacks, couple of touchdowns, interception, 97 quarterback rating. A good day at the office. Here's who I'm more impressed with, though, and who I want to be in Nashville, Tennessee in 2026. Alec Pierce.
Yeah.
4 catches on 4 targets for 86 yards and 2 touchdowns. If you ever needed a better example of a wide receiver's value to an offense, to a system, and to a quarterback, just watch Alec Pierce play with 44-year-old Phillip Rivers. They are running Alec Pierce's down there somewhere over and over. Now, it resulted in 4 catches in this game, 86 yards, 21 and a half yards per catch, and Alec Pierce leads the league with 20 yards per reception this season. I can't help but watch that and think, man, this would be good for Cam Ward. Man, this would be perfect. The ability for Cam Ward to focus on manipulating the pocket, yet always having an option to take a chance with Alec Pierce. To me, Justin, when I look at what Cam Ward can benefit from, and tomorrow we're going to actually do this as a conversation, and I'm going to give you my Christmas lists for both the Titans and Vols.
Nice.
Little spoiler alert, that's one of the 5 things that's on my Titans Christmas list. The ability for Cam Ward to have a big, physical, aerial threat target that he can just throw up to and give a chance. Because I'm curious how much of Cam Ward's downfield accuracy issues, obviously mechanics are playing a role in it, but B, is he trying to be too fine? Is he trying to lead guys so carefully that, let's say you have a guy you feel like you can just throw it up to go get a jump ball and bring it down to earth? Are you more likely to give that guy a chance knowing that you don't really have that guy on this roster right now? That type of receiver hasn't been with him consistently this season. You go get Alec Pierce, and yes, you're going to have to overpay him. Do I care? No.
I mean, you got the money.
You're going to have to overpay everyone in free agency because that's the way this works. Alec Pierce is at the top of my wide receiver wish list for the Tennessee Titans in 2026.
Yeah. I mean, he's got 7 games this season of at least 1 catch over 30-plus yards. The Titans, I don't even know if they have, maybe a player with 1 game with that, maybe? What's difficult to think about it is they don't really have that guy, right? You have Alec Ayumanner, but he's got his drops. You have Chim Dike, who's got the speed, aspect to it. They just don't have that guy. And what Alec Pierce brings to the table is not just that he's the deep threat, because he's probably one of the league's best deep threats now that he's become that.
Right.
But it's
just gets open.
It's the hands.
Catches.
Yeah,
100%.
It's the hands.
100%.
And the Titans, I don't know the last time the Titans have had a wide receiver that has as good of hands as what Alec Pierce puts on display this season.
I mean, it'd probably be A.J. Brown.
Yeah,
A.J. Brown just had more run after catch ability. But
true.
Honestly, though, in a perfect world, you sign Alec Pierce if you're the Titans this offseason to be wide receiver 2, and you go draft Cam Ward's long-term wide receiver 1. That is the dream in 2026 for Cam in this offense moving forward. 615-737-1045. We are live from the 1045 The Zone Circus Sports Studio. Kentucky's largest sports book can now be found at Circus Sports at Kentucky Downs. When we come back, Ramon Foster will join us. We'll talk about the other two games we did not discuss yesterday in the college football playoff involving G5 teams. Did this year prove the G5 is given too easy of a pathway to the college football playoff? We'll talk about that next. When it comes to ensuring clean air in your home, Lee Company delivers. Payettsville Bowling, their award-winning team at Lee Company provides thorough whole home duct cleaning services. They're going to do wonders for your home. They eliminate dust, debris, and other allergens from your HVAC system. The result? Improved air quality, enhanced system efficiency, and peace of mind. Even better, Lee Company is offering 10% off a whole home duct cleaning for a limited time. So why wait? Schedule online at leecompany.com. That's leecompany.com for your duct cleaning services, and that's leecompany.com for so many things around the house. HVAC, plumbing, electrical systems, Lee Company can fix it. They can make sure it's working as efficiently as possible with 80 years of experience. With 24/7 availability, Lee Company is the very best team to take care of you. Check them out online, leecompany.com for their duct cleaning services. That's Lee Company, all you need. Ramon and Will on 104.5 The Zone, at Ramon and Will on Twitter. You can stream the show live there or on the 104.5 The Zone YouTube channel. YouTube.com/1045 The Zone TV. Ramon Foster with us this morning.
Yeah.
Welcome. How are you?
How my alarm sound went off and only went to buzz is beyond me, Will.
It's okay. It happens.
Yeah. It was, my wife was like, Mom, it's 5:45. And I was just like, what? It felt like it was still early because I had just gotten up at like 3 o'clock. Okay, so I laid back down and I'm just like, and I never go back to a deep sleep. Dog, I was panicking. I got up, I will say, I got up quick. I went and brushed my teeth. I found clothes. I got actual shoes on. Didn't even put on my Crocs this morning. And I made it here. I woke up at 5:45. I got here at 6:15? Right after the
Not bad at all.
A 30-minute panic.
You made great time.
Let's just say the roads were more clear than I thought they would be this morning, man. God, I hope my kids don't check out Life 360 speed. That's all. Like,
all's well that ends well.
I hope,
made it in one piece.
I hope they
with
do
no blue
not.
light.
Yes, Duck. I wasn't intentionally trying to be on CP time, Black folks time, but legitimately. That was a stretch for me, man. Will tell you, I always talk about people who are late. It irks me to be late. So if you see me, I know, but like I'm never late for anything. I'm the early guy except to parties.
Well, it's Friday to you anyway.
It is, but like I don't want to act like it when I'm still on the clock. Like if I came in here popping bottles and like we had mimosas this morning, then that would be acting like it. Being late to me isn't acting like it because you got to serve your time.
There's no mimosas?
Man,
what do you mean?
No, do you want to get some mimosas?
I'm kidding. No.
Oh, okay. No, I did put on deodorant. I brushed my teeth. So yes, I take care of the essentials every month. So first thing I do is deodorant, teeth, and then we do everything else later.
You know what? I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
And full honesty, transparency, I have become that in the last probably 2 years.
Yeah.
The morning brusher of teeth person.
Yeah.
That might be really gross to some people. To some people, that might be like, yeah, okay, same. But my quality of life is better being a... at this point, I'll brush my teeth 3 times a day.
Yeah.
Anytime I shower or freshen up in any capacity, like after a workout, waking up, going to bed, just like, why not? What's it hurting? Nothing.
Boy got a woman out here now.
Well,
Hell yeah.
The dentist don't want to see you coming.
No.
What, you got some clean teeth? Nah, I'm going to be out of business.
See, and they already brag on us anyway. I told you last time I went to the dentist, man, it was just like, your teeth are awesome.
Yeah.
They're really good. So, yeah,
Bro,
man.
you got to stop brushing your teeth. I got to stay in business.
I heard somebody like, they like to have this conversation online.
Yeah.
How do you take a shower? Do you just wash
with the water on?
I know. I know it's Christmas.
Shampoo,
we about to do
wash.
sports, I promise y'all. But some people believe this. They just wash the top and just let the soap take care of the legs. I'm like, the legs got to get a brushing too.
Oh,
It depends on how
they
much
got
time I
stanky
have.
legs.
How much time? Like, I can get a two-minute shower and still hit the legs and all the essential parts and stuff like that.
Yeah, they got the stanky legs.
The essentials must be hit well. I just wanted to throw that out there, man.
Leave it at that.
Yeah. Moving forward, I made it. Thanks to everybody that cooperated with me in traffic today.
Well, transition. Ooh. Do we need to wash the G5 teams out of the college football playoff?
Very nice.
That was solid.
Far from my worst. Maybe not my best. Ole Miss 41, Tulane 10. Not the essential part of the college football playoff. Tulane. Jake Retzloff, 20 of 35 for 306. The stat sheet looking better than what it really was for Tulane, especially in the second half. Tulane had no ability to turn the ball over and have any kind of success in this game. We talked all week about how Tulane ranked in the hundreds in pass defense, and Trinidad Chambliss was 23 of 29 for 282, had 51 yards on 4 non-sack rushes. Kawan Lacey missed some time with a shoulder injury, but returned to the game, finished with 87 yards in just 15 carries. Did we learn anything about Ole Miss, Ramon, in this game?
Ole Miss, no, not a whole lot, to be quite honest with you. We learned their backup quarterback that came in will turn the football over again, who's the former starter.
Austin Simmons,
Austin
the lefty.
Simmons. Hate that for him, man, because, again, he came in dotting passes down the field, and the next thing you know, protection gave up on him or failed him, and he ended up having a sack fumble on that series right there where they could have went in and really punched Tulane in the mouth again. There wasn't a lot to be said about what they were offensively. I did think they hit some plays, Ole Miss, but not as smooth as I thought it could have been. And I'm not sure if that's me thinking Lane Kiffin would have had them more dialed in down the field, but with the ability to just work up and down. Legitimately, I thought Tulane fought good enough. It just wasn't enough. And that's what it was it felt like a Jake Paul fight, essentially. You were going to get knocked out at some point if you saw that this weekend. Did you catch that this weekend, too?
I did.
Yeah, he broke.
It wasn't much of a fight, but I did catch it.
It wasn't. Yeah, he caught a right
just like he caught a left hook from Anthony Joshua.
But it wasn't a whole lot to be learned, though. It seems to me they played a whole lot of people. They got eccentric in how they were trying to run their offense and just figure out how to scheme up the next team they were going to see going into the next round. I couldn't gauge a lot from them. I we talked a little bit and said Nick was right, Saban. That's the conversation to me is he said this early on. I know I laughed at him. I said, no, Nick, they deserve to be in there. They earned it. And I got to give it to my guy, Will, time and time again. You said in national championship games or big events, we love the Cinderella. But we don't want to see them in our big matchups, respectfully.
Who's we? Spectators? Television viewers? Okay.
Spectators.
In that way,
enjoy
yes.
it.
Right.
I don't mind it. Well, I'll say this. I don't mind watching JMU, Tulane, heck, any other school that's under the radar, like believing that Indiana is who they are. Like, I don't mind it whatsoever when the lower level school, Western Michigan or whoever, makes it far or compete.
Right.
But when it comes down to the entertainment side of how I'm going to spend my Saturday evenings, that right there was an expectation of what was going to happen. And that sucks.
51-34, Oregon over JMU, just to hit on the other game quickly. The Dukes put up a valiant effort.
They did.
Especially in the fourth quarter. They were a pain in Oregon's side late. Eventually had 509 total yards, 34 points in this game, despite leaving some points on the board in the first half, the early blocked field goal. Just no margin for error for JMU. And Oregon was going to have to make a lot of mistakes for them to have a chance.
And Dante Moore threw 2 picks. I mean,
he did. They are so interesting to me, Oregon, because they've not been healthy all year. And if Evan Stewart is back and you have those 3 wide receivers in DeCorian Moore, Evan Stewart, last year's wide receiver, too, who's not played all year, and Gary Bryant against Texas Tech.
Yeah.
And you can guarantee me that those guys are comfortable with Dante Moore. They're healthy. They're able to go 4 quarters. They look like themselves. Then I love Oregon in this game. But you can't guarantee me that because Oregon's not been healthy all season. In the first half, a really good JMU defense had 0 tackles for loss and 5 gains of 30-plus yards allowed. 13 completions, Dante Moore to start this game. His first 13 completions gained 307 yards. 194 fourth quarter yards for JMU, but that was about it. So there's been a lot of discourse, Ramon, about this.
A lot.
Kirk Herbstreit, Nick Saban. It feels like a lot of the establishment media folks in college football have had a very coordinated effort to talk down Tulane and JMU, and as a whole, the G5's role in the college football playoff. Kirk Herbstreit saying on his podcast with Joey Galloway, I don't think we need to make sure everybody gets a trophy. Make sure everyone's included. I think that's a bunch of bull, Shiano. If they qualify, boom, they're in a top 16. Just a minimum ranking is what he wants, to be in the top 16 to make it. If they qualify, boom, they're in. It's not like they're blocked from being in. I just feel like they should have to get to a certain number. Nick Saban goes on Pat McAfee. Why would we allow the winner of the AAA Baseball League? Would you let them in the World Series? That's the equivalent of what we do when JMU gets into the college football playoff and Notre Dame doesn't. We're not looking for Cinderella in football, Joel Klatt says on the next round. Nobody cares in football about James Madison or the equivalent of George Mason. Do you agree?
When it's on their TV, I agree. Before the conversation, these guys enjoyed it. I'll say Nick Saban was earlier to the party because he said it on College Game Day or the selection show that he didn't think that should have been the case. But a lot of them enjoyed the conversation behind it. It made great television speak about what if, or how much they would get beat. Like, they brought up all of those things. I say when it became real life and the ball was kicked off, yeah, I think it showed that was a real thing to them. Then, Will, I personally look at it like this. I do think there's some truth in what Kirk Herbstreit is saying as far as like where they need to look like before getting to that point. My issue is this, though, is the issue is the way the ACC kind of set everybody else up also. Why was Virginia playing against Duke in the ACC championship? That's the problem to me more than anything. It's the alignment of what they have to do moving forward, make a decision before you burn out as a conference also. And we have these two major conferences because that's the next step. I mean, at least the Big 12 has a method. Like, at this point, BYU had a valid argument as to, look, we should be in it over they played in the conference championship. Miami didn't play in the conference championship. Now, Miami did go on and win on the road. They're validated. But as far as the way it should be a pick 'em, that conversation should be had. The way I view them doing an outside, because that's been the other conversation, too, is doing outside tournament, an NIT, basically. How do you set this up? Who's going to fund it? The logistics of it also play. The TV rights. And I'm sure they can figure all of this out. But who's also not to say that Montana State doesn't feel like they should be in it? Villanova doesn't feel like they should be in this conversation too. Are you putting them with those teams? Because that's the way you're saying you're competing against them at this point. Like, is it the last two levels versus the D1? Like, it's a unique situation. I do think Tulane earned it. These are the rules that were set in place. Now it seems to me they're going to be rules to kind of keep these types of teams out of it moving forward. That's the next change to me. Adding more will have more of this. Whether that be, respectfully, a Mississippi State getting in, a Tennessee that's not ready to be in the college football playoffs. If you're removing them, then who are you going to if it's plus 16 teams?
It's a great point. I think it is complex in, first of all, the fact that lawsuits are at stake. And that's Joel Klatt made a lot of headlines when he went on the Next Round Live and said that the college basketball tournament is one of the worst championships in sports. He walked that part of his take back a little bit, but the crux of the argument that he made on that show that got aggregated everywhere around college football circles last year is correct. If you totally box out the G5 from the college football playoff and essentially just have a Power 4 invitational, you are liable to a lawsuit.
Yeah.
An antitrust lawsuit. So until you have a G5 invitational and tournament that can be its own championship, then yeah, that is always going to exist. What I think we are doing in college football is too harshly punishing a down year for the G5. We are not that far removed, Ramon, from the most Power 4 looking G5 team of the last decade. Boise State with Ashton Genty.
Yeah.
Maddox Madsen. Those guys did not look like a G5 team. And the score that they had against Penn State in the Fiesta Bowl a season ago at 31-14 is not emblematic of A, how close that game was, or B, how good that Boise State team was. Yeah. Because if you plucked that Boise State team out of the 2024 season and 25 playoff and just put them in this year, they would have been properly seeded, not put just automatically in the Fiesta Bowl in the semifinal with Arizona State, who also would have been playing a first-round game rather than with a conference championship being the top 4. I think you would have seen a really competitive Boise State team last season. Yeah. Why are we so quick to forget a really good G5 team that belonged and just try to punish a season where there wasn't a particularly great G5 team? To me, we are being way too forgetful of how good the G5 has been. Now, I know that the system has changed. Mm-hmm. And teams like Boise State, teams like UNLV, teams like James Madison, Tulane have a harder time holding on to their talent than ever. Totally understand that. But from 2014 to 2024, the average ranking of the G5's New Year's Six or playoff rep, Ramon, was 13.6. 4 of those 11 teams won their bowl games. That's the thing about this, is that over the last 10 years, and yes, again, I'm going to preface this, I know that the game has changed in that time, but the average ranking of the G5 team that's playing in the New Year's Six has been 13.6. Ramon, here's the thing for me that I think people forget. Yes, when we talk about guys like Mekhi Hughes going from Tulane to Oregon, when we talk about all of the different really good G5 players that go up to the Power Four, all that's fair. Here's the thing I think we forget, and I'm curious if you agree with. What about the Jake Retzloffs of the world?
Yeah.
The ones that go from the Power Four to the G5. Jake Retzloff is a good quarterback. I get that's a unique circumstance as well with the way he had to leave BYU and his suspension and all these things.
Right.
There are still talented players that aren't getting a chance to prove themselves on Alabama, Georgia, Tennessee, Ohio State. Those are still good football players. They just needed a chance to play.
I agree.
I still think these rosters are better than what they are being given credit for at the G5 level. I personally just think that this was a bad year. What do you think?
I can view that way too, it being a down year for them too, because Memphis started off strong.
They did.
Right, and it just kind of nosedove on
USF started off strong.
The exposure to this too is only because it was 2 of them, in my personal opinion. I think that plays a part in it too.
It's because our Saturday was more boring than we wanted it to be.
Boom. So let me ask you this, and I'm going to diss my school because this is what sports is, and I'm going to diss other schools too. What happens when a Power 4 team gets blown out in college football playoffs? Like, that Vols game last year was hyped up, but we got smacked. Georgia versus Notre Dame got smacked. 23-10, got smacked. Let's go Georgia versus Notre Dame in the national championship. They got smacked a few years back. So I know it's a while back, but my question is
Notre Dame.
Alabama, Notre Dame. That's on me.
And SMU, Penn State.
SMU, Penn. I mean,
Clemson, Texas, closer, but still,
still settled early.
Right.
Penn State, Boise State last year, blowout. Like, my point of it is it because it was multiple teams this year that got in and got blown out? Because I think we can deal with one. Dealing with 2, I think, was the bigger issue in all of it. And the only reason I bring it up is because I didn't think the Vols put on a good product last year. Not even a little bit. But it's excusable because you're a Power 4 team. Every team isn't slated the same. And I'll ride with you on the fact that it was probably it was a down year for the group of 5 teams. I get that. I think the biggest issue is it was 2. And the biggest, I guess, argument can be had about the committee selection, about lack of Vanderbilt not being in, about the lack of BYU not being in.
Notre Dame
not being in. Like, this is the point, and I guess Notre Dame was trying to pull by saying, all right, we'll just pull out of a bowl game then. To be fair to them, I don't know. That's kind of where I stand. It's because it was 2. We didn't want our Saturdays ruined.
Stephen Godfrey has said something consistently on any show he's on and on this show. College football hates a usurper. And every time a non-traditional pathway or route is given to a non-traditional college football power or for the little guy to have a seat at the table, the system changes. There's no doubt the system's about to change. 615-737-1045 is our number. DK Metcalf has been suspended by the NFL for interaction with a fan in Detroit. What's the craziest thing Ramon has heard a fan tell him on the field in the SEC or in the NFL? We'll talk about that next. Wrapping up hour one this morning on Ramon and Will, 104.5 The Zone. Ramon Foster, Will Bowling, Justin Hawkins, 615-737-1045. Let's go to the phones. Got a couple of you ready to chime in. Gator Mike leading us off this morning. What's up, Mike?
Morning, Mike.
Hey, what's going on, fellas? First off, Will, can you help me? I'm trying to find what day and time and channel the Florida Bowl game's on. I can't find it. I'm having a little bit of problem coming up on bowl season.
Yeah, you will not be back at a bowl until 2026 at the earliest, Mike. That'll be it'll be a little while. Those listings don't go that far.
Hey, and Ramon, since we're coming up on the end of the year, I got a good dad joke for you real quick before I chime in.
The one you said about the bowl game was better.
Oh, no, this was good. You'll like it. So what's the difference between a Zippo and a hippo?
Z and the H?
Nope, that's good, though. One is heavy and one is a little lighter.
Okay.
You know what?
Hey, okay.
That's not bad.
Okay.
That's not bad. That's well done, Mike.
I get it. A little higher. Okay. I like it,
Yeah,
Mike.
you know, Will, chiming on your point, yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Like, everybody loves Cinderella, right? The basketball tournament, March Madness, all that stuff. You know, but also it's 68 teams, right? You know, here you're doing 12. And, you know, everybody likes the Cinderella till you get to, like, the Elite Eight. And then, you know, a couple years ago, well, more than a couple years ago, but back, you know, George Mason made the Final Four that one year. But by then, you know, usually the cream rises to the top. That's where you have your better teams, and that's who people want to see play. So I think I'm more on your thing. I think this is just a bad year for the G5. But, like, Tulane and James Madison had great years and great victories. It's just a shame that the other teams didn't hold up their end of the bargain.
Sure.
You know, like you said, on the ACC side, or, you know, even more teams from the Big 12, right? So, you know, I just think, you know, if you go to 16, and then also I think what else is a travesty is, you know, the top four seeds, they should get a home playoff game, right? So I think if you go to 16 and then, you know, add the other teams, and then that way the top four seeds, because it's almost like they're being penalized.
Right.
Yeah, they get a bye, but they don't get that home playoff game. So anyways, I just wanted to chime on that. I'll listen to y'all's takes, but if I don't talk to y'all, Merry Christmas. I'm also thankful for you all. Love chiming in and always catching up with you all and everything, and really appreciate everything you all do in the zone and everything being part of my day.
Thank you, Mike. We appreciate you as well.
Absolutely.
Merry Christmas, Mike. Appreciate you. Totally agree on the home playoff thing.
It needs to be permanent.
Yeah.
I'm talking about it has to be permanent, man. The home playoff, just everything about it. It was a show, and I loved it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I think that part of it, the top four seeds need an opportunity to host playoff games as well. Beyond that, yeah, I mean, I agree. I think it's down year for the G5. I think the difference between football and basketball Cinderellas is football and basketball are just very different sports. This is not even this is more than just apples to oranges.
You
this
know
is
whether
apple to pineapple.
I think quarterback to quarterback is fair. You lose G5 versus Power 4 in the trenches.
100%. Like in basketball, you can get away with having an athleticism deficit, but making a bunch of shots, and on any given day, a one seed missing a bunch of shots.
Yep.
You cannot overcome that in a more athleticism-centered sport such as football.
Mm-hmm.
There is only so much that a 260-pound lineman can do against a 300-pound lineman. And that's not to say athleticism isn't important in basketball, but the reason that Spud Webb was an NBA player is the reason Nate Robinson can be a professional basketball player, and also so can LeBron James.
Yep.
That's what we're talking about here. You can be a really good basketball player and a really good basketball team and not be as athletic as your opponent. You can be better coached, better schemed. There's only so much scheming you can do around your linemen having 40 or 50 pounds of a difference against the guys you're trying to block on either side of the football.
Case in point, real quick, as far as size goes, I love, and Bert does too, Willie Lampkin Jr. out of North Carolina.
There's a ceiling there.
There's a ceiling.
Yeah.
There's a ceiling. I know, I think the Eagles claimed him, and I don't know if he plays guard. I think they move him to a power position, like fullback, H-back, or something when it comes down to his ability to help. I would love to see him in a game. I will say that too. but we'll see how his career turns out as far as being that size.
And two, like one Willie Lampkin or one Aaron Brewer is one thing. A whole offensive line of Willie Lampkins is what
There we
Tulane
go.
and JMU
I
are
agree.
compared to Oregon and Ole Miss.
That's a better way to pull it.
And there's just only so much you can do with it.
Yep.
Larissa on the phones with us as well, 615-737-1045. Good morning, Larissa.
Good morning, Larissa.
Good morning, you guys. I can't say it enough. And again, you guys make the heart smile. I am dying. Essential parts is the word of the day. That was everything. My coworker and I were dying laughing. I was like, folks, don't forget about the ears and the neck and the ring around collars and eardrums. Some people think that just standing under some water gets you clean. Nope. Essential parts is the word of the day.
It is.
But it also means your heart. So everyone stay peaceful and kind. So with that said, seriously, stay
Love
peaceful
that.
and kind to one
too.
another. I'm curious to know how, as a pro athlete, you tune out ugly comments because so much is said. And like living overseas at some point and blah, 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 blah. You gotta, everyone's going to hear the ugly comments, period. But how do you tune that out and not want to, look, come on down here type of thing.
Yeah.
But look, I kind of contradicted myself because I just said peace and kindness, and then I was like, come on down here. So, you guys, have a Merry Christmas.
Thank
Happy
you, Larissa.
holidays.
So,
Peace and
Larissa.
love.
You as
I'll
well.
talk to you guys next year.
All right.
But I'm dying laughing.
Love
Essential parts. It's the word of the day.
Thank you, Larissa. Yeah, if you missed it earlier, Ramon is preaching to the people that when you shower, don't forget to remember the essential parts. If you're just really confused on what Larissa's talking about and just waking up.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that after the break.
Absolutely.
Because DK Metcalf has a 2-game suspension for an interaction with a fan. I am curious how you deal with that in the arena. And what was worse, SEC football fans close to your section or NFL football fans close to the sideline? We'll talk about that with Ramon coming up next.
7:02, good morning. Live from the Circus Sports at the Mint Kentucky Down Studios. I'm Justin Hawkins. Week 16 of the NFL season concluded last night with Monday Night Football as the 49ers beat the Colts 48-27. 49ers quarterback Brock Purdy threw for 295 yards and 5 touchdowns as well as an interception. All 5 touchdowns went to 4 different players. For the Colts, Philip Rivers threw for 277 yards, 2 touchdowns, both to wide receiver Alec Pierce, and also an interception. The 49ers get their 5th consecutive win, who are now at 11-4 on the season, and for the Colts, it marks their 6th loss out of the last 7 games, who now sit at 8-7. The game impacts the playoff picture in this way. The loss for the Colts allows the Jaguars, Bills, and Chargers all to make the playoffs. The 49ers are in with the win, and the Lions lost to the Steelers on Sunday. And while the Colts are not eliminated just yet, there are just 4 open playoff spots remaining as just 2 weeks to go in the season to play. And in other NFL news, Steelers wide receiver DK Metcalf has been suspended for 2 games without pay. Per the NFL, the punishment is for conduct detrimental to the NFL for initiating a physical confrontation with a fan during Sunday's game against the Detroit Lions. Metcalf will appeal, but per Ian Rappaport this morning, if it's upheld based on his contract, it could void not just the rest of the season's salary, but also $45 million in future guarantees. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you got to go to USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5. The Zone.
Hour number 2 of the program, Christmas Eve, getting started on Ramon and Will. 104.5 The Zone TV, where you can stream us on Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch. Your favorite podcast platform at 10 a.m. Effort and Bake Chat open, 104.5 The Zone's YouTube channel, where we recommend you go, and we hope you subscribe and like the video while you are there. 615-737-1045 is our number. Going to talk about Cam Ward in 15 minutes and how we view this season. Is a successful season still attainable for Cam Ward, despite some of the struggles of the early part of the year? Talk about that here at 7:20. But Ramon, DK Metcalf has been suspended for 2 games by the NFL for conduct detrimental to the league for initiating a physical confrontation with a fan during Sunday's game against the Detroit Lions. The league's press release says that DK Metcalf's actions violated league policy, which specifies that players may not enter the stands or otherwise confront fans at any time on game day, and if a player makes unnecessary physical contact with a fan in any way that constitutes unsportsmanlike conduct or presents crowd control issues and or risk of injury, he will be held accountable. Per the CBA, any appeal will be handled not by one of the usual hearing officers, but by the commissioner or someone designated by the commissioner.
Yeah.
So this is not something that you will be in the process.
Yeah, no, this is Roger Goodell, 345 Park Avenue in New York City.
Yes, it is.
This goes to his desk.
So, and I think our listeners know how important you are, and you're not going to pat your own back, but I
My
will.
neighbor.
On how Ramon is one of 3 hearing officers jointly appointed by the NFL and NFLPA that hears appeals of suspensions like this. You will not be involved in this one, nor will Jordy Nelson or Derek Brooks, your 2 counterparts within that part
Usually
of
on
the
conduct detrimental, this is almost like if a player gets arrested type of situation. Who's a Kansas City Chief that got locked? Rashee Rice. Like, that goes to his front desk. A fan involvement type of stuff right there usually will be investigated by the league. And I'm wondering if the league will reach out to that fan, too, and speak about his engagement level that he had, because there's responsibilities to all parties that go inside of NFL stadiums. I mentioned college because college stadiums is a 360 difference between.
Really?
Oh, my Lord.
So is it worse in college than NFL?
I think so, and because I think college is worse. NFL to me is a little bit more buttoned up with how they go about the game day, interactions and logistics and stuff like that. Even just walking into a stadium in the NFL, you can't just walk into an NFL stadium.
That's true.
College stadiums, okay, you got your badge, go ahead. And you've seen it now back behind the scenes, like in NFL stadiums, they got AI scanners of your face.
They do?
I know this, that if there's a situation breaking out inside of stadiums, I'm not sure all of them, but I know in Pittsburgh, if they get a lot of tweets in one area, a lot of movement based off the camera scans, there's a system that sends information up to the front offices to alert them that something's going on in the stadium. I don't think colleges have that. I would suggest colleges get those types of things too. And I know most college stadiums are 85, 90,000, 100,000 plus though too.
At least to this part of the country. Then.
Yeah, in this part of the country. That's one thing I have noticed a difference between checking in on an NFL stadium versus a college. So NFL can pinpoint who you are, where you are. I feel like easier than college stadiums can.
Do you remember the worst thing that somebody has brought up to you or tried to yell at you?
Oh, Lord. Online got worse, and stadium is usually not the bad. Because I look at it and be like, really? Yeah. I've heard the worst from women. Yeah. Like the dudes, like the women in Pittsburgh would just be the absolute just know it all and just purist when it comes down. And we had one lady come berate us so bad, like her husband had to come grab her. Like it was, you dumb, you fat bleeper, blip, 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 you dumb, you guys ought to be fired.
A Steelers fan?
Oh my gosh. We had a slow start. And it might have been against the Patriots.
Renegade had not been played yet.
Like online, I hope you bring, no, it had not been. Renegade had not been played yet. We probably needed it for the offense. It was, of course, online is, I hope you die. Yeah. Online is, you need to break a leg. You suck. The you sucks is not, that's not bad at all.
Well, and as Twitter has become more of a cesspool of bots and not real people, it feels like that's gotten even worse in the last couple of years.
It's the hope you die, hope your career ends, I hope something happens to your kids stuff. Like that right there. That happens, that I think is probably worse online than it is in stadiums.
Yeah, right.
Interaction with a fan, usually if you give this has been my thing. If you give a fan attention, they're done. Yeah, they're done. Like that's all they want is a little attention.
Right. That's what they even if you get them, right? Like if you say something that kind of trumps whatever they're trying to tell you, just even giving them that comment means they've won.
Yeah, and there's rules to it too, as far as players not saying. I feel like a player can't mention money. If you ever mention money, you lose the conversation.
100%.
You're broke. 100%. You can't do that. We understand that dynamic right there. If you mention you're ugly, you can't do that one because, okay, well, you're probably just like because you make money or, heck, that person may know they're ugly.
Well, yeah, go look at the pictures of Tom Brady early in his career, and there's always the caption of, like, you're not ugly, you're just poor.
Yeah, you're just
compared to Tom Brady.
Exactly.
We're all poor compared to Tom Brady.
So it's the break a leg ones. I hope you end your career. I got it.
Okay.
The worst one I ever heard or was said to us. I hope all you guys sever your spine the way Shazier did.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Were you in that game?
Yeah, I was on the field.
That happened to Ryan Shazier?
Yeah.
My goodness.
Yeah, that one, by far is the worst. I hope you can't walk like Shazier. I've heard that one like before. And I'm not trying to use Shazier, but we've all heard that one as a team or being out on the field. Yeah, that one was probably about as crazy, nasty as I've ever heard anything. Because that's such a football moment that we're giving ourselves for your entertainment. And I felt like to cross that line, tearing ACL, I can heal that one. You know what I'm saying? Like, that one is
it's life altering.
Yeah, that's life. Or the brain stuff. Your brain's real mushy, you stupid bleeper, bleeper, bleeper. Like, those are real good, too. I'm like, okay.
Who was the best trash talker
in
terms of stadium or stadium atmosphere?
Stadium atmosphere.
Best trash talking fan base, college or pro? Like the one where you actually respected it.
I gotta give it to Florida. As far as the college goes,
doesn't surprise me.
They're good.
Gator Mike's about to call back in, isn't he?
Florida's good. And they get all up on you, man. They just never stop. That's their thing. And the best NFL trash talkers?
Cleveland.
Yep.
Yep.
How did you know?
I've heard you talk about Cleveland a lot, and
yeah, Cleveland. I will say, and I heard Savage bring these guys up yesterday. The end zone boys here in Nashville, Tennessee.
Oh, yeah, it's a funny social media account.
They do it more funny.
It's very creative.
But have you also seen them too? Like, soon as a guy engaged with them, they're like, all right, man, what's going on? How you doing? Like,
right.
It's
for the fun. It's for the love of the game, not to really tear anybody down.
Not to tear anybody down. They were joking about you brought out the blocking pad, coach. Like, it was.
Yeah, right.
They are hilarious, man.
They're very funny.
They got me if that's the same group. I'm pretty sure I heard from them when I played back here in 2014.
Really?
Like, they were just well, I'll say this because I brought it up on the show before. I know I brought it up on with Jason when we were doing the show because I used to come to the stadium. This is when we were talking about, like, coming to play in Nashville was rude. They is loud. Like, they joke you. Like, nobody jokes you like a Tennessee Titans fan. Like, I've never heard it in any other stadium. They will sit there and just roast you, man. And I'm looking up at the crowd like, bro, you can come down here if you want to, and they just keep going.
Love that.
Love that. You remember I mentioned this like when the Titans got back. I was like, y'all got to fill this stadium up. Like, there's a history of complaining against you guys, and as agitators, like, I love that when it's good and, back and forth like that. And I'm glad to see those dudes are kind of doing it still. But the Titans fans have always been big jokesters.
Mm-hmm.
Like, bro, Will, the ability to not laugh and stay focused in your warm-ups has always been a thing here.
Sure.
But as far as like premium trash talking in the NFL, I got to give it to Cleveland. Vegas, or when they were in Oakland, they were just more violent. You feared them and what they had going on. Cowboys fans just want to brag about how good they think they are and when they're going to win. I don't think Baltimore have enough trash talking because it's such a hate when we played them.
Yeah.
Any other team don't really stick out like that, man.
Cleveland, I knew also because they have been bad for so long, yet are so still consistent in showing up that it's like no level of good or bad football is going to impact how much Cleveland is going to trash talk and how they're going to treat you. Plus, it's not a place that opposing NFL fans really want to go to.
No.
Like, you're not, hey, let's plan a road trip to Cleveland to go. And I know there were a lot of Titans fans actually in Cleveland this year, and I saw them there. But it's not like the traditional vacation and see your team play type place the way, unfortunately, Nashville has become, and the way Vegas is, and the way Los Angeles and Miami, like the traditional, hey, we're going to take a vacation in that city and go see our team play. Yeah. Cleveland is not one of those. So you have so many home fans there who are more likely to trash talk.
Yeah, no doubt. I think, and also too, when I speak about Florida was in that era with Urban and
right. You played Florida at a time where they were hot, and their fans knew it.
And their fans
and
knew
to that point, I have heard from friends who are Tennessee fans who have been to Georgia. Like, everyone I've talked to, it feels like the consensus among SEC fans is that if you are a road fan, Georgia is now the worst place to go in SEC because they'll bark at you. My buddy, I've told the story multiple times. The Jawan Jennings game got spit on, and then the guy tucked his tail and ran after Jawan ended that game. It's the last time we beat Georgia, unfortunately. And but in the area you played, you hung half 100 on Georgia in Athens, and that place wasn't loud when you played there twice.
So that's why
you went 2-0 in Athens.
I've always looked at Georgia like, oh, we got a chance. You know, I've always as of late,
and that has changed.
Yeah, it's changed this past year.
The chance and the atmosphere.
Yeah,
for sure.
Somebody just asked about Cincinnati. Cincinnati's in that conversation. They're more angry.
I went there in 2020, and they had won as many games as we have in this room in the NFL over the last year going into that game. They were awful.
Yeah.
They were very mean.
That's the only stadium I've seen and felt things hit us. Batteries got thrown in that stadium right there. I think they hit. I know they hit Ben with batteries because he went to the locker room. It was a famous game where Pat Manning ran out of the stadium. Ben came back into the game and they threw batteries at him. The stuff now. To go more personal, the stuff they said about him and his allegations, the 4-letter word that he was accused of, they would put that on the back end of his name. That's why I always, when we played them in my professional, we had to go get them because we didn't hear the end of that. Cincinnati also used that connotation, too, of switching out his last name with a unfavorable word.
Wow.
But, yeah, that one's cool. The worst is most definitely, I hope you can't walk like Shazier.
That's crazy.
That was nasty.
Obviously, no excuse for DK Metcalf. Imagine that suspension will be upheld in at least some capacity. I won't ask you to comment on that for obvious reasons, but To me, I think one game makes sense, but we'll see if two gets upheld or not. Coming up, can we still consider the 2025 season a success for Cam Ward based on the way he is closing out his rookie year? We'll talk about that coming up.
It's Ramon Foster for Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. Man, let me give a major, personal shout out to Hiller. They came by my house yesterday. Your guy was trying to play handyman a little bit of last week, man, and I'm changing out thermostats and stuff like that, and I kind of messed it up, okay? And they came out and fixed it. They said, yeah, my heat pump wasn't connected on the right slot on the Nest thermostat, and they fixed it. They were really good and thorough with it, man, and they were on time. Here's one of the better parts about it was when they were on their way, I did receive a photo of the tech, and I linked to track them in real time. I was doing some work around the house. Man, I met them at the door, actually, man. They are just good at what they do. The techs are very respectful, man. I'll even give you the sacrifices that the tech had made to come to my house to fix my HVAC system. The guy that came by, man, had a torn ACL, MCL, and PCL, and he was still walking through my house to fix it, man. That's just the type of service that you'll get. Look, Hiller really does live by the happy you'll be, or the service is free motto, man. They've been here for over 35 years and a family owned and operated. Listen, if there's anything that needs to be done around your house, whether it's plumbing, heating and cooling, or electrical, man, reach out to the company I trust. You can visit their website and book with them at happyhiller.com. It's Ramon Foster here to tell you about my friends at Jewel Roofing and Exteriors. They are a trusted, family-owned and operated Middle Tennessee company that's been serving from Clarksville to Murfreesboro for over 25 years. Yes, from Clarksville to Murfreesboro, anywhere in between, man. They stand up by building relationships and earning trust through referrals. They never do those high-pressure tactics into forcing you to believe something's going on with your roof or door knocking or storm chasing. The storm chasing is when something, traumatic happened with our weather systems here in Tennessee, and you might have a shingle or two that comes off, and next thing you know, they're on top of your roof and telling you need the entire roof. That's not what Jewel Roofing does, man. They will come by your house, take a look at your roof, give you a free estimate if you need one. If you need work done, also they will get it done too for you. If not, they will tell you this: look, you'll call us in 10 years, or we can do the work right now. Either way, they just want to be able to have the trust in you that you believe in them to do great work on your house. Listen, if there's anything you need with your roof or want somebody to just take a look at it, call my friends, man, at 615-868-9999 or go to their website at jewelroofing.com. That's Jewel Roofing with 2 L's.com.
Ramona Will at 104.5. The Zone continues on this Christmas Eve. Ramon Foster, Will Bowling, Justin Hawkins, 615-737-1045. This is your favorite.
This is my favorite. This is a banger. This takes me back to I'm about 8 years old at my grandmama's house, man. And I love Christmas. My wife is like, why you love Christmas so much? Because I do. Ain't no other question. Like, there's no other reason because I do. But this song right here takes me back. And it's just so good.
The baby Jesus is a good reason.
I'm telling you. Yes.
That's why you love Christmas.
There you go. See, my boy gonna cover for me every time, man.
Justin's got the flashlight going back there. It's great.
Oh, yeah. You need the flashlight.
Like at a Temptations concert.
Almost lit mine up right there.
Love it. So 2025 is almost over for the Tennessee Titans and for Cam Ward. We did a lot this offseason, Ramon, of talking about what a successful rookie year would look like for Cam Ward. There will be plenty of time this offseason to relitigate and rehash what worked, what didn't, the successes, the failures, and really tell the story of Cam Ward's rookie season. And we kind of take this moment with 2 games to go to maybe take stock with where we're at and look at a test that is almost completed yet not yet been turned in. The question I have for you, Ramon, is can Cam Ward still get a passing grade? Can 2025 still be a successful rookie season if the last 2 weeks go well for Cam Ward? Yes or no?
Yes. Absolutely yes. It's important to him and the team and to be quite be quite honest with you, the media, to see Cam finish well. I think the finish is way better than what his start will ever tell because it shows that the growth that he's had with more reps has made him better. When it's gotten colder outside and you're on a losing season and you're continually making plays and taking progress and going into that next phase of understanding how to play quarterback in the NFL, absolutely. What do they always say in sports? It's not how you start, it's how you finish. If he finishes this thing on the same pace that he has these last 3-4 games, that's a lot of optimism. That's why, to me, having a conversation about Cam early in the season, I kept saying, like, I hadn't seen enough. I kept questioning where is the dynamic part of his game. When has he done it? Remember the conversation we had about Will Levis having a big moment, and even other quarterbacks have had big moments, and he's yet to have one. And now I feel like he's having more than just a moment. He's having a succession of games that are just allowing him to show that he knows how to play the position. He knows how to manage a game. He's not making the same mistakes. His turnover to touchdown ratio is a whole lot different. His percentage is up right now. Everything to me is show that he's ascending in that direction. So I personally put more stock in that than I do how he started the season because he was a rookie and there's growth that has to be had regardless.
Where did things change for you where this became possible? Because weeks 1 through 9, we were having very different conversations, and you were more on the side that, hey, they may need to bring somebody in here to compete with him for the QB1 job in the 2026 training camp. When did that shift to, okay, this can still be a successful rookie season for you?
I think it's Houston. How they battled, went
second
back and
Houston
forth.
game.
Yeah, second Houston game. Houston, watching that turnover. Like I said, since the bye, it's been that. They played Seattle tight. And I know Seattle jumped out on him early, but he still stayed in and made the passes that you needed him to make. The decision with the football has just been better. What I'll also add, too, his poise in the pocket. His poise in the pocket has been more aligned with what quarterbacks are supposed to do. I feel like early on he was trying to figure out how to play NFL quarterback or trying to force himself in the position to where he was just making plays, and it don't work like that in the NFL. You got to take what's given to you. I think he's doing more of that now. He's using his legs more, not even like he's running the ball 100 yards a game. He's just been strategic with how he's got outside of the pocket and go up the field. I felt like before the bye week, he was going more side to side and trying to find ways to create and down the field and stuff like that. Now he's moving with a purpose of throwing the football away or running, towards the sticks. That to me shows a competent level of quarterback play. I can live with that. Don't put us in bad situations. And I don't think we can say as of late, Cam has put him in bad situations. If they got you on a sack, cool, go down, right? If you feel like you can move over to the left side of the field and throw the ball out of bounds, even better. That matters to guys that have to block for him, that have to make plays for him, and the coaches that have to call plays for him too, because here's the thing about him running sideways and trying to hit somebody just for completion. It could be for negative yards. So that goes from 1st and 10 to 2nd and 13. That's hard to play football that way, and I don't think he's put this team in those type of situations as of late.
615-737-1045. Would love your thoughts on this. If you believe this season is a success for Cam Ward, or maybe you're in the other boat and think, no, I'm staying to what I said in the offseason. He hasn't met expectations. He's not been the guy we thought he would be as a rookie. Open for your reaction on the phone line, 615-737-1045 on Cam Ward's rookie season. So what has to happen, Ramon, for you over these final 2 games for you to consider this year a success? Because the evaluation period's not totally done for Cam yet.
I'm looking more at this Saints game than I am Jacksonville. Jacksonville could be in a position where they don't have to do a whole lot that game if they lock up the division. That's fine. I'm looking rookie to rookie, him versus Tyler Shuck, and saying who duels in this, because Tyler Shuck has been doing the same thing that Cam has been doing. Now, they're in 2 totally different boats, but the way they're rowing for their franchises can mean a lot for either one of these guys. Cam battling him if it has to come to that point. Just looking good. I mentioned it earlier, the whole Cleveland Shador competitive side that they have. Cam's in the same boat with a lot of these young rookies or young players coming into the league, too. He's not necessarily going to be judged by him, but we're going to look and say, okay, they did that with a second round if Shuck does play well, and it's a competitive game. If it's a blowout, it's a different conversation. But how does each one of those guys handle pressure? Because you're going to get pressure from the Saints and from the Titans defense. How do they manage their weapons, getting the football to them? How efficient? Like I said, I look at the completion percentages a lot, okay? And not just that, the turnover to touchdown ratio too. If the completion percentages is there and you take care of the football and your team wins, I think that is something to buy into when it comes down to young quarterbacks. Because again, I say it again, they're not expected to do much, but what you ask them to do needs to be executed. And I don't think early this year Cam was executing much at all, if that makes sense to you.
100% makes sense. And to your point, over the last 6 games since the bye week, the Titans have played the Texans, Seahawks, Jaguars, at Browns, at 49ers, and Chiefs. Cam Ward has completed 129 of 202 passes. That's a 64% clip. He has 1,100 yards at 5.5 yards per attempt, 8 touchdowns to 1 interception. He has been sacked 13 times in those 6 games and has a quarterback rating of 89.3. He's also, and this is what I think might kind of get put under the radar within all of this, has 17 rushes for 92 yards and a touchdown, which I think is also a sign that his pocket presence is taking the next step and that he is figuring it all out. The thing about looking at an entire body of work and an entire box score of a 2025 season is that the sequence matters. Mm-hmm. The order in which Cam Ward made plays, made progress, and got better is critical. I would take Cam Ward's progression over Jackson Dart's great performances out of the gate and regression 10 times out of 10.
It makes perfect sense.
We, Ramon, are about 2 months removed from national media types redrafting the 2025 NFL draft and picking Jackson Dart over Cam Ward.
Sure did.
Doesn't that sound crazy now?
But it was only after like 2 weeks of work.
And it sounded crazy then.
That Jackson Dart did at the time.
Let's put that out there on the front end as well. Halfway through a rookie season is not a reasonable time to redraft the NFL draft. Heck, after 1 full rookie season is not really a fair time to redraft the NFL draft, because this time last year, and even in last offseason, redrafting the 2024 NFL draft, all of us would have taken Jaden Daniels over Caleb Williams. You think people might be rethinking that now? Probably.
Yes, 100%.
You think people might be rethinking Bryce Young and C.J. Stroud, and after that rookie season, C.J. Stroud's so much better. Well, but now Bryce Young's coming along saying, hey, what about me? I was the number 1 overall pick for a reason.
3 years.
it matters that Cam Ward's stock price is ascending in December and into January because he is building. He's progressing. He is learning how to get the ball out more quickly. To me, it matters less what his total 2025 box score looks like and more that the end of the season, which, by the way, is with a different play caller than he had in the beginning of the season, a different head coach than at the beginning of the season, and a different number one wide receiver than he had at the beginning of the season. The fact that all of that has not prevented him from getting better is a really, really good sign to me. If he gives me 2 more games like he's given me the last 6, and there's been some bad moments in the last 6. He was still 14 of 28 for 117, 2 touchdowns and a pick in Cleveland. Mm-hmm. But he didn't make the back-breaking mistake that lost them the game.
He has some overthrows, but they still won, right? Like, the overthrows have happened. Like, that's going to happen. Like, quarterbacks, it's just like a pitcher. A pitcher's not supposed to put it on the plate every single time. It's just not supposed to happen, right?
You're going to give up some home runs.
You're going to give up some stuff, too, and that's how the quarterback position. That's the reason we look at, 70% as being good. They still got some misses in there.
Right.
But to your point, yes. Like, he's got some stuff he's got to work on, but I like this finish for him.
Me too.
More than the start of this season for Cam this year.
If Cam Ward gives me 2 more games like he's given me the last 6, then Cam Ward's rookie season is a success. Curious if you all feel the same way. 615-737-1045, our number. Let's go to Mike in Nashville. First up answering this. What's up, Mike?
Morning, Mike.
Hey, guys. How you doing?
Good.
Man, I'm one of the guys that you guys are talking about, like, call-in week, 1 through 12, and just did not like what I was seeing, and really didn't like what I was seeing from Cam, obviously, really until this past game. I think this past game was his first game where he played like a number 1 pick, quote unquote. Yeah. Right? Yeah. And I think it's about that. I think it's about just feeling like we're getting a return, for the value, And I think it took a while maybe for us novices to see. But yeah, like I have not felt all year like we've got a good return on that pick using it until this past weekend.
Mike, that's to be quite honest with you, that's where I was, and that's why I've admitted, like, I'm harder on rookie quarterbacks because, like, they come in with so much praise, and I think that's what you were looking at too. It's just like, oh, this is supposed to happen automatically. That's where I was also.
Now, my next question I'll leave with you guys is it wrong for us, or not wrong, but just quick to the jump? However, should we have a Drake May or a Caleb Williams expectation for next year with this $100 million cap and these good picks that we're going to have? And I know that, I haven't been the number one of, hey, let's wait 2 or 3 years and let's see. But, I mean, should we have those expectations next year?
Thank you, Mike. Appreciate the call.
Yep. Mike, now.
Yeah.
That's heavy.
He's still the number 1 overall pick, and there is a bar that you've got to reach and an expectation that the progression doesn't stop here, Ramon.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. And you're right.
Now, Drake May expectations are a little unrealistic. Drake Mays don't come around very often to where you have a second-year quarterback play at an MVP level with a first-year head coach, first year in a system, bunch of new guys to throw to. But again, like we talked about coming into his rookie season, the Caleb Williams comp makes a lot of sense for Cam Ward, doesn't it?
It does. Same story. I mean, pretty much the same things that were trying to happen. The only thing that Caleb Williams had different his rookie year was, I feel like, Keenan Allen's a better wide receiver.
He had more proven weapons in his first season. 100%.
The rookie, DJ Moore,
Rome Odunze, Keenan Allen
also,
with DeAndre Swift.
Darnell wasn't right then, no.
Darnell Wright, talking about right tackle. I mean, he was in place. The offensive line stunk.
Was good.
The offensive line stunk out loud for Chicago. He got sacked 68 times last season, Caleb Williams. But he had guys to throw to. He completed 62% of his passes for 3,500 yards, 20 touchdowns, 6 interceptions.
Okay, so if this is the case and we have this conversation of the expectation, the front office has pretty much said this is going to be a rebuild. But to Mike's point, who just asked that question, you're going to have a ton of money to put out to go get guys.
You are, and again, if Caleb Williams is the expectation, Caleb Williams has not lit the world on fire this year.
Not this year.
But when he has been asked to meet the moment and take his team on a game-winning drive, he's done it 6 times this year. Yeah. Caleb Williams leads the NFL with 6 game-winning drives.
That's nuts.
He's only completed 58% of his passes, but he is up at 3,400 yards, 23 touchdowns, 6 interceptions.
That's it?
With an 89.5 quarterback rating. Yeah, he's not been unbelievable, but he has been pretty dang good in the fourth quarter when his team has needed it.
You know what it sounds like, considering his interceptions are that low? Ben Johnson just told him, throw the ball away if you don't have anything.
Yeah.
And that's smart.
And he's only been sacked 23 times this year versus 68 a season ago.
But quarterbacks hate that. They want the percentage up. They'll throw behind the sticks before throwing it away. But you see what the benefit of it is, too, by taking care of the ball. Low interceptions, high touchdowns, and you also are more efficient when you have to be.
Yeah.
So to get to Mike's question and answer it, I think it's fair to have those expectations. If you present that question to Cam, I guarantee you he feels that way, too, of taking that next step.
If you present that question to Cam, he's going to tell you he should be prime Tom Brady.
He should be doing it right.
Because the guy has an uncanny level of confidence in himself. And that's not a bad thing either.
I don't hate Mike's question into thinking that that's a fair assessment for him moving forward.
Yeah, I mean, we can kind of treat this thing with a little bit more kid gloves as a rookie, but the time to continue progressing and become a top half of the league quarterback is fast approaching. And this team and this organization and front office is 100% going to get him more help this upcoming offseason, to where we can't use these same excuses about line and about receivers and about running back. He will be given more of an opportunity to succeed next season, and he's going to have to hold up his end of the bargain.
So is a deeper conversation to be had about how this Titans team get to where Chicago is? Because I think we got to answer the question, or ask the question to the fan base too, where else is help needed? Like, Byard is playing at an all-pro level right now.
And we'll have a lot of time to do that.
You know, like, where else does money need to be spent without considering Cam in the equation too?
Chicago and New England are 2 very logical models for the Titans to follow.
They went DB, secondary, rehash.
For different reasons.
Well, New England went with
they went O-line.
Butte also.
They totally rebuilt their offensive line.
They did.
Chicago.
Believed in Butte.
And Ryan Poles and Mike Borgonzi work together in Kansas City and are going to probably see things pretty similarly. In the same way, you also have the amount of money that New England did last year.
It's true.
That they fortified their roster with.
Can you hit on a coach, though? That's, to me, also a big, just a big point to be made in this conversation.
Can you give a new coach enough resources to where they have no choice but to be successful? Because the roster's so good.
Had it.
Had what?
I thought he had a lot of resources. They tried.
Spent a lot of money.
They did spend a lot of money.
Didn't work out.
As one fan said, don't spend it on the old wide receivers like Calvin Ridley.
Well,
for what you thought you were getting.
You're going to have to spend it on some receivers.
You do.
615-737-1045. Your phone calls when we come back. Plus, something that kind of snuck under the radar that happened in Sunday's Titans game. Peter Skoronski played a little bit of tackle. Does that matter? We'll get Ramon's answer on that next.
Smashville hockey. Around here, it can sound like a language of its own. But hey, if you can pronounce Demumbrian, then names like Yossi, Shea, and Marchessault will roll right off the tongue. Nashville Predators, only in Smashville.
One of the largest sports books east of the Mississippi, Circa Sports Kentucky, is now open. Catch all your favorite games on an 80-foot screen with stadium-style seating and live VSiN broadcast daily. Circa Sports, now open at the Mint Gaming Hall, Kentucky Downs.
My dad and I used to golf together all the time, but when he hurt his back, it was over.
To have your son want to spend time with you is amazing. That's why my chronic back pain has been so heartbreaking. Surgery, fused bones, long recovery. No way, not for me. A friend recommended stem cells, so I gave Kellum Stem Cell Institute a call.
I'm glad you're out on the course.
Yeah, it's really good.
Call the Kellum Stem Cell Institute today. Swing still looks just okay, though.
Selling your home can be stressful, but it doesn't have to be. Get a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate. There are no showings, no open houses, no stress. Work with the #1 real estate team in the U.S. and close with confidence. Go to Mark.
I'll be home for Christmas. You can count on me. I'll be home for Christmas, if only in my dreams.
I love living in Middle Tennessee. We've got great restaurants, entertainment, sports, and one of the nation's top Ford dealers right here in our backyard. Two Rivers Ford. Remember that name. Two Rivers has been a staple in our community since 1983. They're locally owned. They have a non-commissioned sales team, and they sell below MSRP. They've been doing business with integrity for decades. Two Rivers Ford, the South's most trusted Ford dealer.
Ramona Will, 104.5 The Zone, wrap it up hour number 2. Austin Price still to come at 8:20. Emory Hunt of CBS Sports going to join us at 9:20. Open for your phone calls and reaction on if 2025 is a success for rookie quarterback Cam Ward. A tweet from T. Wiley says, it is a success no matter what. He has taken his lumps, learned, and improved. Nothing that happens will change that for me. I think that's fair.
That's fair, but you also need to see it, though, too, right?
I think we've seen it for 6 weeks.
Yeah, we have. Is like for Cam, for me, I didn't need it to be incomplete and question what was going to be next. Like, if he can be successful under this regime with all the changes that he's seen and kind of gone through this year, it seems to me Cam has found a way to adjust. What I'd like to see more from him is like the way Jeff, is kind of talking to him and saying like, man, enjoy the process, enjoy what this is too. Like, I think that also makes you a better player. Like, I think Brady was super just concentrated in his craft, but at a certain point, you got to understand, like, this is still a game. We got to have fun with this too. Once Cam gets to that point, I think the world could be in his palm as far as his play goes. The pressure you put on to be perfect is something that can ruin the game for you too.
Sure.
So, of course, I'll say this. Winning helps. Winning helps a ton.
There was something that kind of went under the radar a little bit in Sunday's win. Peter Skoronski played left tackle. For one play, Dan Moore went out, Peter Skoronski went over, and Corey Levin came in at left guard. Does that matter?
I think there was a rule why, and I think we need to go look at it.
Okay.
Because if Oli Udoh was already in as an extra tight end, I don't think he can just move out to left without having to go to the sideline first.
That is correct.
Yes.
That is correct. That when you have a tackle eligible offensive lineman who reports as eligible, then they have to then be out for one play at tackle. Before they can come back in at tackle eligible, but they have to sit out for one play.
Yes. Him playing left tackle for that play in particular, though, was, to me, showing his versatility and what the coaches still think of him in a pinch. I like that he was able to do that. I like that he still has that athleticism. And to be quite honest with you, Will, I didn't notice it in real time until it was brought up to me. That's big on him to be in a position where he still has his athleticism when it comes down to his ability to be that flexible and that athletic.
You mean until I texted you with a bunch of eye emojis from the broadcast booth?
But I like that for Peter, though, man. Like, he, to me, is going to be a guy. We've talking about the growth that he's had so far as a young pro, and it's only going to get better. I will say he looks like an angry man when he's in there fight. Like, when he's in there pass protecting, he is belly to belly with guys. Like, it is a strain to him, man. And I like that for him because I feel like at some point all of that movement is going to just be minimal. And you'll see a guy that's just look like he's Bob Ross and just painting pictures out there. That to me is a beautiful process where, like, I really just – I talk about offensive line play like it's friggin' ballet. And it kind of is with how you go about doing things. Like, think about a guy playing on the interior, moving out to the outside and removing his hips around to move right, move left, be in those positions, man. A lot to say. That's a lot to speak of about a guy like him.
So I did find it. I got really lucky. I just went to the condensed game replay while you were talking to try to find the play before the play that Peter Skoronski was at left tackle. You are right. Oli Udoh was in there as an extra tight end on the right side of the line next to J.C. Latham. So this play happened with 13 minutes or just under 13 minutes left of the second quarter on the drive after Jeffrey Simmons had the safety. Dan Moore goes down holding his knee, only had to miss one play, never went into the injury tent. And Corey Levin comes in at left guard. Peter Skoronski was at left tackle. Brandon Crenshaw-Dixon, the other tackle who would come in that spot, was inactive. So there you go.
Okay.
That was the only choice they had. With Oli Udoh, they didn't have a third tackle ready.
I would have, man, I would have probably got a flag on that play because I'd have just moved Oli over right there in that situation.
Right.
But that's why Coach McCoy knows the rules the way he does, man.
Yep.
But it's still a big deal, though.
It's
watching
still interesting.
Peter move over.
It is still interesting. And I am curious how they reshuffle that line this offseason.
Me too.
Peter Skoronski is playing great. Sharm Sports put this out yesterday at Sharm Sports. Peter Skoronski has not allowed a quarterback pressure in the last 3 games. The last time Peter allowed a pressure was Week 13 against the Jaguars on November 30th.
I don't understand how hard that is.
No sacks is one thing. No pressures
I don't understand.
is elite.
And he's still a young pup. That's what I'm saying as far as like his projection moving forward. We had a light conversation earlier. Like, it's almost time to start just bringing out the paperwork for Peter to go ahead and get an extension.
Yeah, it might be payday time for Big Pete.
Yeah.
For Big Sco.
Big Sco.
As you call him.
Because, again, if Dan's going to be here, Dan also hasn't been as bad. I don't think he's had his moments, but Dan's going to have to be serviceable for this team. If you can keep them together, and grow together, clearly they have gotten better the last few weeks. Potential is high.
615-737-1045 is our number. A recap of Monday Night Football coming up next. And to me, why one player proved that he would be a perfect fit to be a Tennessee Titan in 2026 last night on Monday Night Football. I'll tell you who that is and how they did it. Plus, Titans and Saints tickets coming up next. If you are relocating around Middle Tennessee, the best gift you can get this time of year or any time of year, peace of mind. A stress-free process, the very best price and value for your home. Hey, it's Will Bowling for my good friend Bernie Gallerani. Selling a home can feel simple until the unexpected happens. And for Brian, that moment came during the home inspection when surprise repairs threatened to slow everything down. That's when Bernie Gallerani Real Estate really proved their worth. With clear communication, constant availability, and a smart plan of action, the team guided Brian through every decision and kept the process moving forward. His home sold above asking price and stayed on track, all while he successfully purchased a new home at the same time. So when challenges pop up, not if, but when, you need a real estate team that knows how to pivot and deliver results. If you're buying, selling, or doing both, call Bernie Gallerani Real Estate today, 615-428-2644. They're going to deliver you those results. Make your next move with confidence and get the Guaranteed Sale Program. Bernie Gallerani guarantees to sell your home in 30 days or he'll buy it. You can check him out online at BernieGallerani.com or call him at 615-428-2644. That's Bernie Gallerani Real Estate at BernieGallerani.com.
8:02, good morning, live from the Circus Sports at the Mint Kentucky Down studio. I'm Justin Hawkins. Week 16 of the NFL season concluded with a 48-27 49ers win on Monday Night Football over the Colts. 49ers quarterback Brock Purdy threw for 295 yards and 5 touchdowns, going to 4 different players. The 49ers, with their 5th straight win, are now at 11-4. And for the Colts, it marks their 6th loss out of the last 7 games, and they now sit at 8-7. The game impacts the playoff picture, with the Colts' loss allowing the Jaguars, Bills, and Chargers all to make the playoffs. And while the Colts are not eliminated just yet, there are just 4 open playoff spots remaining with just 2 weeks to go in the season. In other NFL news, Steelers wide receiver DK Metcalf has been suspended for 2 games without pay, where the NFL deemed it punishment for conduct detrimental to the NFL for initiating a physical confrontation with a fan during Sunday's game against the Detroit Lions. Metcalf will appeal, but per Ian Rappaport this morning, if it's upheld, that based on his contract, it could void not just the rest of the season's salary, but also $45 million in future guarantees. And tonight, the Nashville Predators are back on the ice as they take on the Wild in Minnesota. Puck drop is at 7 o'clock. The Preds have won 7 out of the last 10 games. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you got to go to USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Second half of the show, hour number 3 getting started, halfway home on this Tuesday. And Christmas Eve that feels a little bit like a Thursday, because tomorrow's our last show of the week. Ramon Foster, Will Bowling, Justin Hawkins. Whether you are in the office, on your way to the office, taking the day off, we are glad you decided to spend your morning with us and grateful you decided to do so. 615-737-1045, the number if you want to make your voice heard. Austin Price will make his voice heard in 15 minutes. The latest out of Knoxville as the transfer portal opening date gets nearer and nearer. And Ramon, the Music City Bowl is 1 week away.
It is. I got to dive into the tape, man. Start looking at Illinois here real soon, man, just to make sure I'm very familiar with what their scheme is, who their players are. I know they've gone with a freshman or a sophomore running back now, too, because they had somebody, I think, opt out. So Mike Keefe sent me some stuff over. I'm excited to call a game in the stadium upstairs. Sure. I've yet to be in that one. I was always on the field during the game.
Yeah.
So different perspective this time.
It'll be interesting. And too, it is a rare situation where 2 veteran starting quarterbacks are playing in a bowl game.
Yeah.
How often do you get that anymore, where Joey Aguilar and Luke Altmaier, 2 quarterbacks of that caliber, are deciding, you know what, I'm going to play in the bowl game?
Never. Not today's world. Since the opt-outs have started happening, you don't get that. I mean, guys even finished bowl games that were high draft picks, I feel like, years back. Like, you didn't have this type of situation that just force dudes to say, yeah, I'm good. But again, I get it. Why would I hurt myself for, in my personal opinion, a meaningless game that won't help your NFL tape? I mean, you can go to the bowl games more than anything and help yourself there in those practices. That's what I learned most about. I played in the Shrine Bowl. It was actually in Houston. The practices matter a lot. Your one-on-ones matter a ton. And the ability to go sit and meet with coaches, and Coach Mack brings them up often, and I was coached by him in his bowl game, but Carl Mock was my offensive line coach, and he is about as hard of a guy that you could have. He's a curse you out type of dude and force you to get it right every single time type of guy. And the way he coached me that week, I thought was really cool. It signified a lot that for myself. It gave me confidence in my game, because I'd never been around that many different other players in those settings. That's why I was like comparing myself to. And it was funny going into that Shrine game, Will. I was chilling because I thought they were going to go from the guy go with the guy to start from South Carolina.
Yeah.
And I'm hanging back. And Carl Mock said, Foster. I look around. I was like, what are you doing? I was like, we're just switching out. He's like, you're starting this game. Go. And I was like, hell yeah, let's go. But it was fun to go prove yourself against your peers like that directly.
Last night in Indianapolis, 49ers 48, Could get one more point, 49ers, to be 49. Anyway, Colts 27. Brock Purdy, excellent. Colts defense, miserable. On par for both of those units. 49ers offense, 440 yards, finished all but 2 of their 9 legit possessions with points. Brock Purdy this season has a 144.6 passer rating when targeting George Kittle. That is the highest between any quarterback-receiver duo in the last 5 seasons. San Fran 11th in points allowed at 20.9, yet allowed 44-year-old Phillip Rivers to kind of have some success in this game. 2 touchdown catches, Ramon, for Alec Pierce. I am all in on the Titans entering the Alec Pierce sweepstakes this upcoming offseason. Caught all 4 of his targets last night, 86 yards, 21.5 yards per catch, a long of 33 yards, which was also his touchdown catch on a free play. By the way, just a quick aside, that's Phillip Rivers' first touchdown pass on a free play in his career.
Get out of here.
He's 44 years old. He has a suite full of his offspring up in the second level of Lucas Oil Stadium. That's his first free play touchdown? Yeah. Crazy. I digress. 4 catches for 86 yards, 21.5 yards per catch. He leads the league in yards per reception this season. He's going to come at a pretty penny, Ramon.
He is.
And he might even get franchise tagged by Indy. But should the Titans be amongst the highest bidders for Alec Pierce this offseason?
With what he's done and how you've seen him, I think, yes, the conversation has to be had, and you got to take him serious, man. He's a big body guy. He's an athlete. He's an above the board, off the field type of guy at all points. When you look at the way it could shape up, if you choose to go this route, you got Chimray, you got Alec. If you get Alec Pierce also on Carnell Tate and Kyle Pitts, that's cooking. That's setting you up. That's just me. I know, I'm sure in the chat, Cuzzo Mike going to come in and leave the names alone, but like, this is a free agency that you have to look forward to and how you're going to build this team up. If we're having that conversation, which our friend Mike from Nashville called and asked, is it appropriate to kind of want Cam to have that second-year jump that Caleb Williams is having? Caleb Williams got a lot of help. He's got a ton of wide receiver help. They went in and got Lovelace at tight end also. Like, these are the things.
Holston Loveland from Michigan.
Oh, am I thinking about the restaurant? No, that's Loveland. Okay, either way. What I'm saying is this. You're going to have opportunity, to your point, to go get guys. And you got to be serious about how you're going to curate Cam. Now, the other side of the ball has to be taken care of, too, defensively. But if you're talking about going to get weapons, I'll say this, and I'm probably going to be chastised by people online by saying this, but I'll take Alec Pierce and the role that he'll play over George Pickens, if that's the route that you want to go in free agency.
And I think that Alec Pierce being a premium wide receiver too, early in Cam Ward's career, which is something you can afford because you have more cap space than anyone else in the league, that makes a lot of sense. The type of receiver that he is, Ramon, being an intermediate to deep threat target. I mentioned this in our opening segment. How much more accurate does Cam Ward get if he's only being asked to just give his guys a chance down the field?
How much accurate?
Because I think that you can make the argument Cam is being too precise, trying to be too precise down the field, because that type of jump ball physical target to the Alec Pierce level is not on this football
You're speaking D-Hop to Kyler Murray, D-Hop to Will Levis.
That
like, just put it in their world.
Possession wide receiver.
Yeah.
It's a question I'm asking. It's not. I'm not making a declarative sentence on either side of this because I don't know. We haven't seen Cam play with a guy like Alec Pierce. But if you give Cam Ward Alec Pierce and simply say, Cam, give him a chance. I'd rather you underthrow this receiver than overthrow him. Put it up there and give him a shot.
Yeah.
How much more accurate and productive down the field can Cam Ward be? I'd like to find out, and I'd like for Alec Pierce to be the reason why we're finding out.
It's not bad. And you know the thing that you run into with this one, how the synergy of that Alec Pierce signing would be, is if you do go get and you believe that Carnell Tate is a guy. I mean, Alec Pierce has played the 2 role behind Michael Pittman.
That's what I'm saying. And two,
and he gonna be paid more than a 2.
100%.
Yeah,
he's going to be paid like a wide receiver 1.5 in free agency.
Yeah.
But I think that's okay for where the Titans are today, for right now.
On rookie deals.
100%. They've got the money.
Yeah.
Front load the contracts, pay him like a wide receiver 1 for the first 2 years, and then on the back end, have an out if it doesn't work. And if it does work, you're then paying Alec Pierce like a wide receiver 2.
Yeah.
And then by that point, in a perfect world, all right, we got to go pay Cam Ward. That's the way this is going to have to work.
Sound like you've thought this through.
I have thought it. Good. I'm glad it sounds like it because I have.
Sounds like you thought this through. Now, there are other candidates out there besides an Alec Pierce, but like that,
Romeo
that
Dobbs
one,
would be out there too.
That makes sense if we're looking at the style that you want to play.
I think it's the kind of receiver that solves the Titans' big issue this year, Ramon.
Yeah.
Cam Ward against 0 blitzes and man coverage. Alec Pierce is a man-beater deep threat in the pass game that on 3rd and 8 against 0 coverage can win man-to-man and make a play for you. That's what Cam Ward has missed.
Is that part.
And he did it with Elikai Manor also in this game on Sunday. 3rd down and I believe it was 7. 30 or 25-yard completion to Elikai Manor over his Cam Ward's former teammate in college, Jalen Watson, along the right sideline. That's what Alec Pierce can bring you. And 2, I also think it's what Elikai Manor can bring you. But I'd like for Alec and Alec Pierce to be that. That way, if one of those 2 guys go down, you're not totally lost and you don't have that big, rangy, physical target. Because I'm also describing Elikai Manor. Alec Pierce is more of a finished product at that kind of wide receiver position than Alec is. So get both of them.
I ride with you there. That to me makes sense. We're looking at a 5-man rotation plus a bonus of guys that you could use. Now, again, there are going to be other guys that want to put their name in that hat too when it comes down to it. Like, respectful, I say, what do you do with guys like Restrepo on practice squad? You have the ability to keep them, develop them. If you have to use them,
they're
in the
dead
pinch.
pieces.
The other pieces too, to me, is Chimere Dike. His specialty is special teams, right? At this point, you let him focus on that while also being a wide receiver 3 in certain sets if you have to get to that point in the game. It's great. It's better balance. I'm still on the Kyle Pitts conversation. I just think the fit with Cam would be perfect.
It would be a great luxury for Cam Ward and the future head coach to have to say that Chimere Dike and Elikai Manor are secondary options within this offense. Because those are 2 good, young, developing wide receivers. I think the Titans have got to find a way to let young, developing players be depth pieces on offense.
Yep.
Because Cam Ward's development depends on it. Yeah. Austin Price of AllQuest and On 3 joins us coming up next.
Is your concrete in need of repair? Maybe your sidewalk is shifting on you. Your driveway is cracking and sinking, or your porch steps have moved on you. Shifting concrete can create a dangerous situation, just trip hazard around your home. It's also just a big eyesore. Ramon Foster, and whatever is going on with your concrete, call United Structural Systems. Ask them about their polyurethane foam injections. You've heard about USS for a long time. It's the same company that's provided superior foundation repair and waterproofing to Middle Tennessee since 1994. Well, they can also fix your sunken or settling concrete. USS uses polyurethane foam injections to lift and repair your sinking concrete in a matter of minutes. Lifted concrete can be walked on immediately or even driven on after about 30 minutes. So, don't go through the long, expensive process of ripping out and replacing concrete. Reach out to the company I trust, man. You go to USSTN.com. That's USSTN.com. Or call them the old school way. That's 615-488-7855. United Structural Systems.
Well, this is a hard departure from what we usually hear at 8:20 on Tuesdays. But it is Christmas Eve. Usually the glass would be breaking at this point for Austin Price. Today it's the dulcet tones of Michael Bublé on Ramon and Will. Ramon Foster, Will Bowling. Austin Price joining us with the latest out of Knoxville. I feel so much more subdued, Austin. I feel so calm bringing you in. Do you still agree to give us the latest nuggets out of Knoxville, even though the glass hasn't broken this morning?
I do. I did that for Ramon. I know he, around the Christmas holidays, normally likes to, start the water and have him a Bublé bath and listen to a little Christmas music. And so, hey, I thought we would. Hey, wait, listen. When we exit, though, I want the glass to break.
Perfect.
The glass breaks on the way out.
Fantastic.
I knew you would come with something this morning, man. But a Bublé bath is that did right there.
We did already hear "Silent Night" by the Temptations, which was a Ramon request earlier this morning.
My first choice was "A Tender Tennessee Christmas."
Yes,
they told me you had already selected that this morning, and
that's right.
You get up for this time of the year, Austin, or is it still work for you?
Are you kidding me, man? I love my Christmas tree's been up before the kids came for the candy at Halloween.
I love it, Austin. Heck yeah, man.
I love it.
That's why my wife keep looking at me like, why do you enjoy Christmas so much? Because I do. Okay, that's the only answer I got. I do, okay?
And for all the people out there that say you got to wait till Thanksgiving, you do you, and I'll do me.
There it is.
And I'll enjoy my 60 days of my tree that takes forever to put up, and you can enjoy your 25 days. And that's okay. Everybody can be different, and everybody can look at how they want to.
And words of wisdom and a good way to live.
I'm telling multiple trees or just one, Austin, and real or fake?
Multiple trees. No, they were both artificial. We do not do the real. We do not do the real variety in here. But if you go to Costco and get one of theirs, it's about as real as a fake tree can get.
That's true.
There it is.
Not to give the old sales pitch for the Costco Christmas tree, but there you go.
Austin Price of All Quested on 3 with us for his weekly visit. Austin, Peyton Lewis is expected to enter the transfer portal. What went into that decision? How surprising was that? And how do you expect Tennessee to fill his role next season?
Not surprising at all. He just had not played as much and not had the impact that I thought he would. I thought he was really going to have a chance to be Tennessee's next great back, and he just did not have the wiggle that I thought and just did not leave the impact that I thought he would. And so he's off to the portal, and Tennessee will now have to go to the portal to try to get a replacement for him. And we'll see, who they're able to go get. Ultimately, it's somebody to pair with Deshaun Bishop, who, with a good, strong bowl game, actually not even a strong bowl game, he had 62 yards, he'll go over 1,500 yards for the career, and he'll go over 1,000 for the season. And basically, a backup role last year and a shared role this year. So he's had a lot of success during his, first couple of years at Tennessee, and not too bad for a former walk-on.
Austin, Brendan Sorsby at Cincinnati appears to be the only quarterback in the Pete Nakos articles and what we have read out there really strongly linked to Tennessee at this point. And there have been other quarterbacks that maybe in the past were linked. Right now, it feels like it's just Sorsby, Austin. How surprised would you be to see them be amongst the top bidders for him? Like, is Brendan Sorsby potentially going to have to take somewhat of a pay cut a la a Chaz Lanier compared to BYU or Kentucky a couple of years ago? Or is Tennessee, in your mind, maybe willing to go to that top dollar mark for a guy like him?
I'd be pretty surprised if they are, but that's not to say that they can't. They certainly could. I just don't know if that's the direction they'll go with their money. Is it you're going to put that much into Sorsby? Do you try to go at a lesser amount with somebody else and make it a competition? What do you do? I think that's the biggest question for Josh Heupel because he does have other voids to fill on this roster. And you look at safety, you look at defensive line, maybe even a linebacker. You've obviously got to add a tailback. Quarterback's important, it's uber important. It's the driver of the boat. But they did pretty well this year with a guy who cost them a little over $1 million compared to going up in that $5 million range for a guy from Cincinnati who is no more proven at Cincinnati than Joey Aguilar was at Appalachian State. So interested to see kind of the direction they go. Sorsby obviously has the ties to Knoxville, which are, the fact is sister, brother-in-law, mom and dad all live here now. They did not live here before. They're all from Texas. They live here now. Is that a help? I mean, I don't know. I don't think it hurts. I'm not sure it's necessarily the help everybody thinks it is. But I would also tell you that, having a girlfriend who was at Cincinnati who is now transferred to Texas Tech, that's not necessarily help for Texas Tech. They've been dating a couple of months. It's not like they've been dating for a couple of years. So I think he's going to do what's best for him. If that's Texas Tech money-wise, it'll be Texas Tech money-wise. If it's somebody else, it'll be somebody else. Either way, I think this comes down to the NIL dollar figure likely for Sorsby.
Austin Price with us from All Quested on 3. We've been kind of waiting to kind of read the tea leaves, Austin, about Josh Heupel's quarterback decision and how much he trusts George McIntyre and Faison Brandon versus how much he feels like he needs a starting transfer quarterback. Does this link between Tennessee and Sorsby, Austin, do you think that tells us anything about how Josh Heupel feels about the two young quarterbacks on his roster in an immediate context, or is this just more about a logical fit from the Sorsby perspective?
I think it's more about the logical fit. I would also tell you that, as I said last night in the Monday Night Chat, if Josh Heupel knew that 2027 was guaranteed, I think he probably rolls with the guys he has on campus. But I think there's a notion out there. Look at James Franklin. He went from number 2 in the country to out of a job in about a 3-week span. Life comes at you fast in this game, especially in this era where people are just so impatient. And so I think for Josh Heupel, he has to look at and balance what gives me the best chance, the most realistic chance to win next year. Is that an inexperienced redshirt freshman or true freshman, or is it someone who has had success, has played well at a smaller level compared to the SEC? Listen, there are guys that rolled into this league, Joey Aguilar, Trinidad Chambliss, that have had success from smaller football. Sorsby has had a nice run at Cincinnati, which is a bigger level than App State. It's a bigger level than Ferris State. But there's no guarantee. All of this is a bit of a guess, right? Whether you decide to roll with the young guys or you take the transfer. It's all a bit of a guess to your ability to play against the defenses you're going to face. Tennessee's going to face some really good ones next year, really good defensive coordinators. Your ability to process, and you gel with your teammates. All those things play a role in having success come next fall. So it's all a bit of a guess, and so it's interesting to see kind of the direction they go and what they want to do with it.
Joined by Vol Questing on threes, Austin Price this morning. Austin, speaking of just the unknowns, Coach Inge will be calling the plays in the bowl game, man. Is this any kind of just prerequisite for him being a part of Jim Knowles' staff? Or do you have any feel on any coaches right now that'll be retained by him, could possibly be retained by him?
No, I don't think it hurts. I think it would be a help. I don't think it's a guarantee, though, that he's back on Jim Knowles' staff. But, again, I do not think it hurts that he is labeled the interim defensive coordinator. Jim Knowles has worked with linebackers before, so in theory he could be the linebackers coach in the DC, much like John Chavis was back in the 90s. But the last few times he's been a DC, Penn State, Ohio State, he's been more of a walk-around guy. I think Rodney Garner's got a shot to be back on the staff. We'll see what happens with Coach Chop. Obviously, he's got a lot of ties in recruiting. We'll see what happens with Coach Martinez. But as of now, no. Coach Knowles has been doing a lot of evaluating, taking notes, kind of monitoring and just observing the last week and a half. He's not been super involved in a lot of team meetings. Now, he goes in to some position meetings and, again, takes notes, observes, what Rodney Garner looks like in a meeting room or Coach Inge or whatever. But he's not done a lot in terms of being super involved with the current team and definitely not the game plan for this bowl game.
No doubt. With the bowl game coming up, too, do we have any outlook on what Lance Hurd's decision is going to be moving forward right now?
Right now, he's slated to play. Again, that's all relative. Yeah. It could change at any time. Now, the team has broken. They are headed home for the holidays. They are going their separate ways, and they'll reconvene Christmas night in Nashville. So they are headed home as of yesterday afternoon after practice, and should be at their current homes, and we'll be back in Nashville come Thursday night. So as of right now, leaving the Knoxville portion of bowl practice, Ramon, Lance Hurd was slated to play. Again, anything can change with these things, but right now it sounds like he is going to give it a go.
And he has practiced, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
He has practiced.
And just real quick, too, because the 5 stars mean a lot, and this guy is a freshman, All-American, true freshman. David Sanders, the plan would still be to keep him at right if Lance does stay and keep Jesse Perry at right guard is kind of the way I'm looking at it. Almost just regroup, rebuild, and run it back.
Are you saying for next year?
Yeah, for 26. My bad.
That's a great question, Ramon. I think David Sanders plans on being the left tackle next year. Now, can they get Lance or David to buy into being the right tackle? I think that should be less of a thing. Look at Darnell Wright.
I know.
He's arguably one of the best right tackles in football. He was a left tackle, and then his senior year switched to right tackle because it was much easier for the left tackle at the time, or the incumbent. Will, you know this, the kid that came from Florida, they ended up going to Kentucky. The left tackle.
Gerald Mincey.
Yeah, there we go. Gerald Mincey. Gerald Mincey was much easier for Gerald to learn on the left side than it was the right. And so Darnell volunteered to go to the right. Again, that's a selfless kid who, just saw the big picture and realized, at the NFL, it's just going to show them tape that I can play it left and right. And I think that's how the kids should look at it. I don't think the whole left tackle, right tackle is as big of a lean now than it was 10 years ago. So I think it would provide tape for both playing left and right tackle and would help both of them. But again, agents get involved. Agents see, he's going to be the left tackle. We'll see what happens there. David Sanders is going to be back. We'll see what Lance Hurd decides to do over the next couple of weeks.
I just need somebody to go talk to them and tell them about the next level, because Panay Sewell, right tackle, getting $28 million a year. Lane Johnson, 25. Zach Tom, 22. Jawan Taylor, who $20 million a year. And, I mean, to your point, Darnell Wright is about to get broke off for about $25 million a year as a right tackle. I know, even I thought that, Austin, in college, like, I need to be a left tackle. Then he put my ass at left guard in the NFL. My point of it is this. It's not the same as it was even 10 years ago about right tackle versus left tackles. Like, these guys are making all pros and Pro Bowls now.
Well, you know what? They're about to be in Nashville come Christmas month. So, Ramon, you can roll there and talk to both of them and give them your wisdom, having been a 10-plus year NFL veteran.
Right. I will, Austin. Right. I just wanted to put that out there on wax for everybody.
And the only reason I can remember Gerald Mincey, Austin, off the top of my head, is because I was picturing him waiting in the concession stand line in that picture that went viral on Twitter a couple of years ago. Oh, Lord. Anyway. Yeah. Austin, David Gabriel Georges, got to see him in person a few weeks ago in the D2 AAA Blue Cross Bowl. He's got Tennessee in his top 8. What's the next step in his recruitment? How good of a position is Tennessee in with him at this point?
They're as good a position as you can be in at this point for recruitment that is, several months out from having a decision. It's Tennessee and Ohio State. I know he lowered it to 8, but it's really those top 2 teams. We'll see if somebody else can get involved. It does not feel that way as of right now. It feels like those 2 teams are destined to battle it out until a decision is made sometime in spring or summer. The question is when does he take official visits? There's been a lot of chatter out there that he may take some official visits in the spring. If that's the case, then that bumps up decision compared to most kids. I think if you're Tennessee, the big thing here is you don't want to do the visit in the spring at Tennessee and then him wait till the summer at Ohio State. Northern schools are always going to push summertime. Now, this kid's from Canada, so a 45-degree visit in April in Columbus versus a 75 to 80-degree visit in June, I just don't think it matters because he's used to the cold. At the end of the day, we'll see how quickly he decides to take these official visits when things become official for official visits come April, I believe it is.
Austin, it's incredible the kind of athlete that he is, and I know that Brentwood Academy defense had some success against him. He also clearly was not 100% healthy in that game, and probably wasn't for a lot of this season anyway. And a lot of future Tennessee players potentially on the field in that game too. When you think about Kenny Simon and Keyshawn Bowman and some of those guys, and of course Gabriel Georges. But, Austin, to that point, he looks like he could play SEC football tomorrow. Like the guy with the crop top jersey showing the six-pack, he looks like Ezekiel Elliott, Austin, against, like, as you know, really, really good private school football teams. How quickly could this guy step into Tennessee's offense and, in your mind, help right away?
He's an instant impact type player. He really is. And I will say this. He's big on having someone to help share the load. He does not want to be a guy who carries it 30 times. He wants to be a guy who carries it 18 times and makes the 18 count. So I think he wants other backs around him. He definitely wants to be the guy. He just wants to be the guy in moderation. And so, and if you get into the right kind of game, sure, he's going to carry it 30 times and then go blank. But I think he wants help around him. He doesn't want it to be him every game, all game, and that's kind of been Tennessee's thought process. Except for the Dylan Sampson year, they've done a nice job of balancing and sharing carries, and so he's ready to step in and play right away. They let you call that AAA game, Will?
They did not.
The Brentwood Academy?
They did not. I called the D2 single A game between future Vanderbilt quarterback Jared Curtis and Trey Smith's alma mater, University School of Jackson.
Okay. Well, I didn't. I mean, with Brentwood Academy, and I was going to say, how impartial would you be?
Very. No, not at all. I would have been very biased under the broadcast table. Maybe over it on the headset, I would have been fine. But fair. Fair follow-up question, Austin. Austin Price of All Quested on 3 with us Tuesdays at 8:20.
Are the new signees already on campus and practicing too?
No, that's different this year. All that changed this year. So nobody's here early to practice.
Okay. All right, for sure. That's what I needed.
Austin Price gives us what we need to know every Tuesday at 8:20. Merry Christmas, Austin. Have a great week.
Let's have the glass break.
There it is.
Yeah.
Glass breaking on the way out. Outro music for Austin Price.
Ho, ho, ho.
We'll talk to you next week on Game Day, Austin. Thank you.
Love it, Austin.
See you guys.
All right. I kind of like the outro.
I did too.
That's kind of cool.
I like the outro better right there, man.
Hey,
did you hear the ho 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 behind it?
I did.
Yeah,
I did. That was
Go
good.
off, Austin. One more personality
Great visit
out
with
here.
Austin Price.
Give the people what they want. Austin.
At Austin Priceless, where you get him on Twitter. All right, 2 quarterbacks are returning to their 2025 schools, Ramon, because we live in a world of college football where we announce that a quarterback has re-signed. Imagine being in like a group project with Lenoris Sellers.
Oh my!
And next semester you're going to have to do this this group project. You're like, oh, good, he's going to be a part of it.
No, I ain't going to be here.
He is, and another quarterback that is a bit more surprising, going back to his old school. We'll talk about that next. Ramona Will, 104.5 The Zone. Wrap it up hour number 3. Emory Hunt coming up at 9:20. And all our discussions on the Titans, on the Vols, on college football, wherever you download podcasts. Help us out if you don't mind. Go to Ramona and Will on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Hit the follow button. Helps us. It's free to you. It'll take about 10 seconds.
Yeah.
We always tell people they might even burn a calorie in the process, clicking the button on their touchscreen.
We'd hate to come force you to do it, okay? Like, we're trying to be nice about it.
Don't make me sick Ramon on you.
I'm serious. And I'd hate being that guy, but I will be, okay? See you in public. By the way, I ran into a guy yesterday at Kroger, man. He said you listened to us. Shout out to him.
Fantastic.
Yeah, the Krogers, as I'm doing last-minute shopping. Going into the stores this time of year don't bother me. It's the getting to the stores that bother me.
Correct. Once you're in the store, you're fine.
You're fine. It's the traffic. Oh, my Lord.
Mm-hmm.
But I love this time of year. I'm not going to complain.
Well, there's a lot of traffic for quarterbacks in the transfer portal. However, Lenoris Sellers will not be one of them. Mm-hmm. Posting a video on social media yesterday announcing his return to the South Carolina Gamecocks in 2026. Lenoris Sellers, in year 1 as a starter in 2024, was terrific. And in his time as a starter, 63% completion, just under 5,000 passing yards, 31 touchdowns, 15 picks. At South Carolina, Ramon, he's averaged 246.5 total yards per game. However, this season, he averaged 225, only rushed for 270 yards and 5 touchdowns, and completed 60.8% of his passes for 2,400 yards, 13 touchdowns, and 8 picks. He's going to have his third offensive coordinator in 3 years this upcoming fall in now former Arkansas OC Kendall Briles. What do you make of Lenoris Sellers? Why do you think he didn't live up to high expectations this season? What's the biggest reason why?
This is what Savage told me from day one, that offensive line. Who they fired that coach in the middle part of the season, too.
Like early in the season.
Which is wild because I've always known South Carolina to have good offensive linemen. They've always been good in the trenches. Their defensive line has done well in the draft as of late.
True.
I think it was that, and I think it was putting a lot of hype and expectation on Lenoris Sellers, too. I thought he was going to take the SEC by the chin strap this year or the face mask and just drag it by, game after game, and they didn't. They fell short. It looked bad. The defense was so-so, but Spotty couldn't stop the run the way you needed to, and then he himself couldn't do enough. He had guys in his laps. What am I? He got more than one lap. He had guys in his lap often, and that's a bad way to play football. I want to believe that he's the first rounder that everyone projected him to be before this 2025 season started, but I didn't get enough of it this past year. Even with the use of his legs, I don't think you saw all of that. It's South Carolina's kind of the way you view what his year was. I hate it for him, though, but he's back.
He needs a lot of transfer portal additions at receiver and offensive line.
Yeah.
Not just a new OC. That offense was Lenoris Sellers and no one.
The tight end phenom that showed up from time to time.
Nicholas Harbor, who can run probably, like, I'm not joking, a 4.2 40.
That big.
He is that fast. I have broadcasted his track meets. He is that fast.
Okay.
However, you got to have 2 hands that can catch the ball for that speed to mean something. And he has not shown the consistent ability to do that. They, I think, have a future star in the NFL at quarterback in Lenoris Sellers.
You do still.
I am still a believer in Lenoris Sellers. I think Lenoris Sellers has nothing to work with and a very uninspiring offensive coordinator that led him in his redshirt sophomore season. I still think he's a first-round pick. I think Kendall Briles will get more out of him. The question for South Carolina is, how do you surround him with more talent? At a place like South Carolina with the resources they have, I'm going all in on one or the other. I'm either getting him the best receivers money can buy in the transfer portal or the best offensive line money can buy in the transfer portal and going full Haynes King offense with him as a runner, because that dude is a legit athlete. And he's also a legit 6'3", 230.
Oh.
He's got a little bit of Cam Newton in him as a runner. Now, not to say that anyone is Cam Newton, because Cam Newton is a one of one. So hear me when I say that I'm not saying he's Cam Newton. I'm saying he has a little bit of Cam in him.
Yeah.
in the way that I think the best version of Lenora Sellers is a guy that's carrying the football 10 to 15 times a game.
No doubt about it. They stole a 5-star interior guy from the Vols, Darius Gray. So there's attempt to go do it. He'll be a starter easily, right?
Yep.
So they will have to do more of that. To your point, I honestly think it starts with the offensive line, unless they're going to change the style of ball that he's going to play and roll him out to protect himself, like
which
a
is what
moving
I
pocket.
would do.
Yeah,
that's what I would do.
Like a moving pocket.
I'm not
situation.
nearly as smart as you, and definitely not as Kendall Briles or any of the people making decisions up there. But that's what I would do.
Yeah, no doubt.
Nico Iamaleava has re-signed with UCLA football for the 2026 season. On threes, Hayes Fawcett had it first. Hayes is working overtime on graphics this time of year. First year with the Bruins saw Nico Iamaleava throw for just under 2,000 yards and 13 touchdowns. The two parties, of course, in Tennessee and Nico's camp. Let that one breathe for a minute. Nico's camp was unable to agree to a deal with Tennessee last year. They were able to get one done with UCLA. UCLA was 3-9 this past year. Started 0-4. Beat a then top 10 Penn State team, 42-37, and then would go on to win its next two games, UCLA, before losing the final 5 of the season. You surprised to see Nico stay put? And how bright is his future still? How good can he still be?
I'll say this, pleasantly surprised for Nico and his camp. No, not his camp. Pleasantly surprised for him. I think he needs some stability. I think he needed the West Coast, and I think he needed a school in UCLA to believe in him too. I'm not sure what his other offers were, if they looked at anywhere else to be. But I think Oregon's probably set. I'm not sure if he want to go to Oregon State. You know, USC is probably set on quarterbacks too. Arizona State. I'm just looking at the West Coast teams that he had.
Set.
Dylan
Raiola is apparently in the mix for Oregon.
Dan Lanning also told him no earlier, and I think the disrespect was probably just too much to go call him back again.
We'll see.
But I just think this is good for him as far as stability, even if he's changing coaches and whatnot, is just looking at him having the ability to actually grow 2 years in a row. He did well for them. Heck, he was one of the main reasons why James Franklin is out at Penn State. Like, if you get that version of Nico moving forward and they can surround him, UCLA just has a bad reputation with how the old Pac-12 schools view them. Oregon craps on them. USC craps on them. Like, they got to find themselves out of the snake pit to actually be, I guess, credited. And Nico, if we believe that his talent is what it is, should be the guy to kind of bring them over the top like that. I'm not calling him a Mendoza type, but like Mendoza validated what Indiana was and also a good coach too.
Bring them over the top to
Diego brought Vandy out of the conversation, right?
I don't think Nico is a Diego Pavia type.
I think it's a UCLA problem more than anything.
To your point, if Nico is the guy to take them over the top, what is he taking them over the top to?
Making
a bowl game? 7-5?
Another upset. I'm not sure what their schedule is for 2026 because I don't follow UCLA football, but like another upset, at least been in a conversation as weak as the bottom half of the Big Ten is, that UCLA is a part of that conversation. Like, that to me is where they are. Indiana's first big run was because everybody said schedule.
UCLA next season plays at Cal in a classic Big Ten ACC matchup, at home to San Diego State and Nevada. Their Big Ten schedule, UCLA in 2026. Ooh. At Maryland. Okay.
Easy.
At Michigan. I don't know who their coach is, but at Michigan. At Minnesota. At Oregon. Home games, Illinois, Michigan State, Purdue, USC, Wisconsin.
I can make some hay.
You avoid the Big Two in the Big Ten, Ohio State and Indiana. What a world we live in. Congratulations to the Indiana Hoosiers on being considered in the Big Two of the Big Ten, but that is college football in 2026. All right, it is a Titans Ticket Tuesday. We've got a couple of tickets for you to go see the Titans play the Saints on Sunday. If you're looking for that late Christmas present, first of all, I don't blame you. It's okay. There's no judgment. But also, we'll give you a chance to win some tickets. We won't tell on your family members. They might know, but you can tell them you got the tickets months ago, weeks ago. We'll give you that chance. Plus, an interesting piece at ESPN.com about Robert Sala's willingness to be a head coach. The Titans are mentioned in this. We'll talk about it next.
It's Ramon Foster from MedicalHouseCalls.com. Good people, they are available to you, man, 7 days a week from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. Same-day appointments are available to you like they were for me. I had a little bit of a sickness I felt like coming on, and poof, I hit them up. They came to my house. I got off the air at 10 o'clock. They were at my home by 11:15, man. That's just how they work. Next day, guaranteed to. But here's how the process works, because I can tell you about my testimony, but I can tell you how they actually work. You can call or text this number, 615-838-2375, and their team will assist what you need within minutes. You can book your visit after a quick call that they will schedule to come to you wherever you are. The medical providers will be at your door to get you the care that you need right back, man. They are bringing back the concierge to medicine, where there's no waiting in germ-filled urgent care rooms, appointments that don't fit your schedule, or uprooting your life, kids, and schedule to see the doctor for something you don't need. They got transparent pricing up front and not confusing at all. Look, whether that be sickness, infections, injuries, or in-home labs, testing, and more, they can do that for you. They can also complete a full exam, treatment plans, and get you prescriptions if you need it. I heard my brother, Ron Slay, say this yesterday. He needed a script. They called it in. He went and picked it up at the local pharmacy center. No problem whatsoever. They are, as I told you before, bringing back the concierge to medicine. As busy as we are, how busy we say we are, they want to make life simple for you, man. If you want to do like I do, or like many others, visit their website at medicalhousecalls.com or call or text 615-838-2375.
It is 9:03. Good morning, live from the Circus Sports at the Mint Kentucky Downs studios. I'm Justin Hawkins. Breaking news out of the NFL this morning as the 2026 Pro Bowl roster dropped just minutes ago. Titans defensive tackle Jeffrey Simmons and rookie wideout / returner Emory Hunt are headed to the Pro Bowl. DK is the first Titans rookie since 2010 to make the Pro Bowl. And for Simmons, it makes his fourth Pro Bowl appearance and second consecutive. And the loss for the Colts last night as they lose 48-27 to the San Francisco 49ers. They're not eliminated out of the playoffs just yet, but 4 open playoff spots remaining as 2 weeks to go in the NFL season. But the Colts did allow Jags, Bills, and Chargers all to make the playoffs. And for tonight, the Nashville Predators are back on the ice as they take on the Minnesota Wild in Minnesota. Puck drop is at 7 o'clock. The Preds have won 7 out of the last 10. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you got to go to USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Fourth and final hour of the show, 9 a.m. here already in beautiful Music City. He's Ramon Foster. I'm Will Bowling. Justin Hawkins is at the controls. Coming up in 15 minutes, Emory Hunt of CBS Sports talks Titans and NFL headlines with us. We'll ask him the question we asked you in hour 2. Is this season still a success for Cam Ward, considering the way he's finished the year? So we'll do that here with Emory in 15 minutes. You just heard it from Justin a few minutes ago. NFL Pro Bowl rosters are out. Congratulations to Jeffrey Simmons and Chimere DK for earning Pro Bowl nods this season. Very well-deserved, Ramon, for both of them.
It is, man. Those two guys have stood out. That's the two facets of this team that have shown up time and time again, week in and week out, man. We mentioned special teams. We mentioned defense with this team in 2025, and those two dudes have been stellar, man. That is a justified Pro Bowl selection by two guys, because I'm seeing some dudes on the list, and I'm just like, this guy made it? Okay, now that's a name game for one or two dudes. By the way, fullback, we can just chalk it up every year. It's just been Kyle Juszczyk and also Patrick Ricard from Baltimore.
I will not stand for the C.J. Ham erasure.
Listen, I'm just saying the
Big
fullback
guy.
Why are we doing that to those dudes, man? But yeah, major congrats, man, to Jeff and Chimere. That is an honor that most want, and they got it as, no, I'm not sure if starters, but they got it as non-alternates, so big time.
Fourth time that Jeffrey Simmons has been named a Pro Bowler, including back-to-back seasons. Chimere DK is the Titans' 6th rookie. Titans/Oilers rookie to be named to the Pro Bowl since the 1970 NFL-AFL merger. I will give you one of these, Ramon. He is the first returner since Mark Mariani in 2010.
Mark,
okay. DK also just broke Mark Mariani's record for single-season return yardage.
I know Mark. I don't feel
he's
happy for him.
The other rookies in franchise history to make the Pro Bowl. 1978.
Earl Campbell.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
1999.
Javon Curse.
Yep. Still holds the NFL rookie sack record.
God, do you hear me?
2006.
Vince.
And 2008.
CJ.
There you go.
Hey,
that's pretty good company.
Titans trivia.
Pretty good company.
Hey.
Look at you being a big old Titans fan over there.
I was nervous. I was still in the state at this time.
First round pick, of course, Jeffrey Simmons has 40.5 sacks in his career, making him the Titans/Oilers 12th player to reach 40 sacks and the 5th player to do so in the Titans era since 1999. Also, the team's Walter Payton NFL Man of the Year Award nominee.
I'm going through the list of tight ends.
Uh-huh.
The youngest guy on here looks like the oldest.
Okay.
He looks like a throwback. I'm on Schefter's Twitter.
Who's that?
Brock Bowers.
Yeah.
That man.
Oh, man, he just went ahead and let it go. He went ahead and let it go.
This picture that Schefter posted.
The scalp was peeking through,
bro,
and he made like Elsa and let it go.
He smoked cigarettes at halftime.
Yeah, that's right.
That's what I'm telling you. Golly.
That's what you got to do.
Talking about, look at me, an NFL historian. Get out of here, man. Listen, I take my flowers off air.
Peter Skoronski is not on this list. He needs to be an alternate.
He's probably an alternate.
Peter Skoronski needs to go to the Pro Bowl. He has earned it this season with the way he's played.
I'm glad you bring that up. I'm looking at this list. I'm trying to figure out. I don't think Trey is going to turn heels down. I wouldn't either. Trey Smith, he made it.
Depends on how healthy he is, too.
Well, and he's still fairly new to this world. Like, it hadn't really hit him to be like, yeah, I've had enough to where I can turn him down. Right. So I can't see him turning it down. Thuney's on here. What he's hopeful for, I guess, is to have somebody be later in the playoffs and don't feel like playing.
Right. AFC interior linemen, Zach Allen, Chris Jones, Jeffrey Simmons. That's a pretty good list.
Yeah, it is.
Guards are Quentin Nelson, Quinn Miners, and Trey Smith in the AFC. In the NFC, Chris Lindstrom, Tyler Smith, Joe Tooney. All right, we're going to get to this, and we'll spend more time on it tomorrow. But first, we'll talk about Robert Saleh in a second. It is a Titans Ticket Tuesday.
Okay.
Late Christmas gift option for the folks, if you're listening. Usually we do this Thursday. We're going to do it today because we don't have a show Thursday. Thursday is Christmas. We are giving you a chance to win a pair of tickets to the next Titans game. It is the final Titans home game, Titans and Saints, this Sunday at Nissan Stadium. Be caller number 5 right now to win 2 tickets to see the Titans host the Saints. 615-737-1045. Maybe many of you can have new Titans jerseys that you can sport in Nissan Stadium for the first time. Perhaps this would be your big gift. Caller number 5 right now wins 2 tickets to see the Titans host the Saints. 615-737-1045. Best of luck. All right. And there you go. Our own version of a Christmas tree with the phone lighting up.
Man,
many of you wanting those tickets.
Too, not a single Steeler made it on. Wow.
Really?
Yeah. Just looking back at the list. Not that there's any concern of this show, but.
Concern of you?
Concern of me. I thought Cam Hayward would get him, but he ain't getting in over Jeff and the rest of that group, though, too. I was shocked by the Denver's defensive lineman, Allen.
Zach Allen?
I'm not shocked by him, but I'm glad to see a new name show up, is my point.
Agreed.
Okay.
Agreed. We'll spend more time on this tomorrow, but ESPN's Nick Wagner and Jeremy Fowler have an interesting piece at ESPN.com titled, Has 49ers Robert Saleh rebounded back into head coach talks? According to league sources familiar with discussions, Robert Saleh was the perceived leader for Jacksonville's head coach search last year for about 24 hours before Liam Cohen opted to take the job after initially declining. Boy, what kind of alternate history would that look like for Jacksonville without Cohen there? Saleh was also a finalist for the Raiders coaching job, then rejected an offer to be the Raiders DC and the eventual successor to coach Pete Carroll. He reunited with the 49ers on January the 24th, telling ESPN he was, quote, always going to return to San Francisco unless he got a head coaching job. Robert Saleh told ESPN everyone wants to be at the top of their profession and they want to succeed at that just to see how far they can go and what they can achieve. Is my desire to get to the top of the profession and hoist the Lombardi one day? Absolutely. Am I in a hurry? No, I love it here. Obviously, the desire is there, but at the same time, it's not desperation. He goes on to say in this article, Ramon, being the head coach is lonely. I try not to be too invasive, but just being a helping hand where he needs me, talking about Kyle Shanahan, I can kind of feel when he feels like he has the world on his shoulders, when he's got the entire organization on his back, and he just kind of needs a buddy to hang out with at lunch. A league source said, I think Saleh will get interviews and be considered a strong candidate. It's a weak candidate pool. He has credentials and done a good job with an injured defense. My question to you, Ramon, is this job good enough to lure Robert Saleh away from a job that he already likes, being the defensive coordinator of the San Francisco 49ers?
Is this job good enough? Yes. You're set. You don't have to. You've seen what Cam looks like. Like with Zach Wilson, I felt like it was a guessing game and what he was getting himself into. I feel like he's played against him. You understand how to attack him. Like he gets all those things. I start with Cam first because that's Cam's success, I think, is measured immensely to almost everything else that has to happen. The fact that he scouted it in person, too, he knows what the defense looks like. He knows what the offense looks like. He knows what the deficiencies are. And it's also a place where I feel this time around with the GM structure that they have, he doesn't have to have the Jets worry on his back the way he did up there, right? He went and got a very experienced and seasoned Aaron Rodgers to try to figure that out. And be quite honest with you, he had to appease to Aaron Rodgers. I don't think that'll have to be the case with Cam or with Jeff or with anybody else, because I think his body of work that Salah has is proven. The respect will be there also. And that was huge for me for whoever they choose to bring in this next time around. Can or will the guys in the locker room respect him? And I know a lot of people say, well, that's your coach, you're supposed to. No, but you got to bring me something to the table, right? I had a coach 1 or 2 years while I was playing that, be quite honest with you, we didn't respect. Kind of rebelled a little bit, did our own thing from time to time. I think this team need a coach with that type of understanding and credit too.
I think that this job has become more attractive in the last 6 weeks as Cam Ward has started playing better.
I rolled you there.
And I think especially considering the job that he did on Sunday against the Chiefs, not to say that that one game on its own has made this job more attractive, but Ramon, I feel more confident in answering that question yes on December 23rd, Christmas Eve, than I would have on the last holiday, Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
We'll talk more about that tomorrow. Coming up, Emory Hunt of CBS Sports will join us. Where does he see growth the most for Cam Ward? And what kind of coach? Is there a name that makes the most sense to pair with the Titans rookie number 1 overall pick? We'll talk about that and much more with Emory Hunt of CBS Sports coming up next. Ramona Willow, 104.5 The Zone continues on this Christmas Eve in studio. With 11-year NFL veteran, Vol for Life, Ramon Foster, I am Will Bowling. Pleased to be joined this morning by our good friend Emory Hunt on Twitter at FBallGamePlan. You hear his work at CBS Sports HQ and on this show from time to time, one of our favorites. What's up, Emory? How are you, man?
I'm doing fine, man. I appreciate y'all having me on. I love the intro. Once you hear the intro to that song, all things is good after that.
Hard not to have a smile on
I'm
your face.
telling you.
Absolutely.
I almost feel like we shouldn't even just let you sing like interviews. We should just let this song just play out for a little while. I honestly don't think you would mind it. I honestly don't.
Right. It's one of those situations where you drop everything and just sit down and just listen, man.
That's right.
It's a great song.
Listen,
absolutely right.
That's why I love the holidays, man. We can just be cool this time of year.
Well, Emory, that's the kind of joy that Tennessee Titans fans still have after beating the Kansas City Chiefs on Sunday, after watching Cam Ward kind of have that breakout game. And things have been better since the bye week over the last 6 weeks, but this was the best it's been. What impressed you the most, Emory, about the way Cam played Sunday specifically?
You saw the full gambit. You saw the athleticism. You saw the arm talent. You saw the efficiency. You saw the playing above the X's and O's that you wanted to see. You saw some mobility as well, and he only took 2 sacks. So at the end of the day, he checked all the boxes. And when you're checking all the boxes, this is the Cam Ward we saw at Incarnate Word, the Cam Ward we saw at Washington State, and the one we saw this last season at Miami. So, I mean, if you go the last 8 weeks, 8 touchdowns, 1 interception. So the turnovers have dropped to a significant low. He's protecting the football better. He's much more efficient. He's always has the ability to play above the X's and O's. But granted, I know people will say, but the Chiefs was without this player, that player, this player. At the end of the day, the box score says Titans win versus Chiefs. That's all people would care about come the offseason, and he did a great job in that game on Sunday.
Emory Hunt, CBS Sports with us. Emory, we had a conversation earlier in the show about can this still be considered a successful rookie season for Cam Ward? But before the bye week, 57% completion, 72 quarterback rating. Since then, an 89.3 quarterback rating. The wins over Cleveland and Kansas City, things starting to progress in the right direction. What are your thoughts on the full evaluation of Cam Ward in year one, interim head coach, Calvin Ridley injured? How do you grade and view this entire body of work that Cam Ward has put on film this season?
I give it a B. And here's the thing, man. I feel like now because we are in the, fantasy footballification of the media, we're in now the hot takery of the media. People forget what rookie quarterbacks used to look like and how sometimes it takes time. And they didn't draft number one for a reason, for no reason. They needed help around. And so people act like this was like you see people across the gambit where if a rookie quarterback doesn't come out and win the Super Bowl by week 2, they're ready to say, well, let's look at the next year's draft class. Or did they whiff on this pick? Calm down. And so I think this is a solid performance for him because he's starting to play his best ball toward the back end of the season, which gives you confidence going into the offseason and gives you optimism heading into next season. So all of those things are steps in the right direction. It's always been about crawl, walk, run. And right now he's starting to pick up the pace a little bit, and we're going to see him run into next season.
We're joined by Emory Hunt this morning talking NFL and more things about football, man. Emory, when you look at the start of this year for Cam, how do you kind of categorize what that was or summarize the first portion of his rookie season? Since there is, of course, a lot of, it was a lot of bad, considering how he played versus his second half so far. How do you kind of judge that reasoning if you have one?
You know what? I felt like it was a situation where they drafted Cam Ward and expected him to save their job, right? And so when you have that level of desperation, you're not gonna focus on the little things because you're probably a little bit more. I'm talking about Brian Callahan, for instance. You're probably a little bit more worried about saving your job, so you may overlook some things. You feel like you don't have the luxury of time, which we now found out he didn't have. And so when you have some semblance of stability around you, you're able to firmly plant your feet down and build on some things. And I think if Callahan was a rookie head coach with a rookie quarterback, we would have seen that slow maturation process over the course of time, probably a little bit faster than after the bye week. But because Callahan was in save my job mode, and now you throw a rookie quarterback in the mix on a team that still needs a little bit more work, you got what you got in the first part of the season. And now because there's some stability with the coaching staff that, hey, they may not be here next year, but at the end of the day, they're here right now, and we can build, we can work together, and we're going to have the same voice. There's no desperation of we got to win because I don't want to get fired. And that's why we've seen what we've seen over the last course of the, 2 months from Cam Ward, juxtaposed what we saw in the first half of the season.
We've had this conversation about the last couple of days, even a little bit of last week, about Ben Johnson comments about Caleb Williams. Like, we don't need Caleb. We're winning in spite of Caleb. And that, to me, I think is a better way to let a quarterback grow. So the question I have for you, whoever the Titans sign as their new head coach moving forward, do you think there needs to be a reining in a little bit of having the team support Cam instead of having Cam out front? Or do you want to see him more even next year going into this process? Now, that's a lot to project. Emory having this conversation that's not even a full, complete offseason with free agents and everything else. But I think a lot of people will admire what Ben Johnson has done with Caleb, and even now, so especially after watching him in the later part of this season drop a bomb on Green Bay and just look like the guy that, of course, everybody said he was coming out of the draft, but last year in his rookie season, very relatable to what Cam is having right now, just wasn't good. You know what I'm saying? Like, that correlation, I think, is going to run hand in hand with one another.
Man, I'm so glad you said that, Ramon, man, because I feel like we talked about this before during the draft process where I've always said no one player is that good. So I don't care who it is, right? You need your team to be good. You kind of want to quarterback-proof your roster, so therefore you can ask your quarterback to do his 111. Like, you go into a game like, hey, Caleb, we got a fantastic run game. We can run when we want to. We got two of everything. They are Noah Ark's offense, right? Two of everything. You got two backs, two tight ends, multiple receivers. You got a bunch of everything at your disposal. So we just need you to hit 5 passes a game, and when the situation calls for it, hit your layups, and then we need you to be Caleb Williams for 5 passes a game. And we saw that against Green Bay. The one pass he hit for the touchdown, actually both, to Jade Walker in the corner of the end zone to get the tie, and then the one to win the game. Those are 2 of those 5 throws you have to make as a special talent. So if they build around Cam Ward, and Cam Ward is also a special talent, he doesn't have to put on his cape all the time. That wears you down when you feel like you got to score 60, points a game. Like, man, I can live with scoring 40 points and dishing out the other, 40 to my teammates, and we win more than we win if I score 60 points, using the basketball reference. So I've always been team, make your team good, make the 53 good, or make the 52 good. That way your 53rd player, your quarterback, can do his part. Because if you're asking him to be the leading rusher, to be the playmaker, to be the OC, you're doing too much. And so I think it's and the greatest example of that is the Los Angeles Rams. We've seen them time and time again just constantly draft, develop, and have guys step in and play their role. And if you're able to do that with good players like the Bears have done this season, you're going to have something special. And I think that's the mindset the Titans have to have going into it.
Emory Hunt of CBS Sports, our guest at F-Ball Game Plan, where you get him on Twitter. Emory, is there a name or a system that you think makes sense for the Titans' next head coach? Where will Cam Ward find the most success in 2026?
With a solid head coach, period. Because here's one thing that I don't like about today's game. You don't have to have a quote-unquote offensive mind or an offensive head coach. You just need a head coach that does a great job in identifying talent, that's able to delegate to the guys he hired and empower those guys to do their job. So give me a head coach that has a good pulse of the team, that's able to delegate to his offensive coordinator, that's also able to delegate to his defensive coordinator, and let those guys coach their respective sides of the ball. Because I think a lot of times folks get enamored with, this guy, he runs this orbit motion. Man, he's going to be a cool head coach. Oh, wow, he put 3 wide receivers on the same side with the tight end. Oh, wow, that's a great offensive mind. Like, man, you just need a head coach that can handle situations and allow his offensive coordinators to do their job or their defense coordinator to do their job. I feel like only a rare few can call plays and be the head coach. Your Sean McVay, your Kyle Shanahan, and your Ben Johnson. Outside of that, man, just get a head coach that's great situational football, that understands team building, roster construction, has a great gauge on the in-game situation, and allow your offense coordinator to do his job, build the offense around the player's skill set, and that way you can have success.
Emory, I'm watching Monday Night Football last night thinking, man, Alec Pierce catching these like shot-putted footballs from a 44-year-old Phillip Rivers could do wonders for Cam Ward next season. I also look at where the Titans now are in the draft and think Carnell Tate could do wonders for Cam Ward next season. And they're probably going to have to address the wide receiver position early in the draft and in free agency. Is there a dream fit for you, whether it's in the draft, whether it's one of these free agent wide receivers? Who makes sense, Emory, to pair up with Cam Ward?
Now, I'm glad you brought up the game last night, because if you watch the passing exhibition that we saw from Phillip Rivers and also Brock Purdy, notice how many times those dudes didn't get touched.
Right.
Felt like it was 7-on-7 for San Francisco, and their offense was much maligned all season long in terms of offensive line. Man, so I would look toward the offensive front for Cam Ward. If you go back to why we saw Cam Ward become the guy he is at Miami, look at the line in front of him. Like, he was barely touched at Miami. And so if you are able to build a rock-solid front five, I think that's the way to go first. And because there's some talent, that guys that can make some catches. Yeah, you want to add premier talent, but I don't want to say you can find receivers anywhere. And I understand the benefit of having a guy that can, be a guy that you got to have to come in a game plan for. But I'm going to try to solidify this offensive line first before I think skill players. I think that, to me, has been the biggest issue with Tennessee, is getting him protected. I'm glad he doesn't hold the record right now, because he prior to last week, he was the most sacked quarterback in the league.
Yep.
That has to change. If you can drop that 51 sack number down to 25, now you're cooking with gas. So I think they have to address the offensive line first. Who is the best tackle? Who is the best guard? Lock them dudes up. Draft those guys, and let's go play ball. I think that's first and foremost the foundation before you can do anything else. Because think about, we talk about the Bears. Look what the Bears did this offseason. They went and got guards in the guard, and that's a big reason why they are where they are right now in this season.
They're able to keep Caleb ain't super small, but they're able to keep a smaller quarterback behind his umbrella of interior offensive linemen. Point taken. Love guards, man. I wonder why. With that being said, Emory, you bring up jobs and coaches. Just on the surface level, man, is this an attractive job? I know it's one of 32 and everybody want to be one of these CEOs, but I think that's a fair question to ask when you're looking at potential coaches that could be let go. Like, if Stefanski does get let go, if Baltimore doesn't right the ship, does Harbaugh, there's a lot of Saleh conversation and Nagy. Like, is this an attractive job, man, when it comes down to other teams and availabilities that happen on Black Monday?
I believe so, man. You got a quarterback that you like. And it was universally liked. So it's not like you have to trick yourself into saying, well, it's one of 32 jobs and, not too many people can, you don't have to do all that. You say, oh, I think I got Cam Ward over there. I'm good. And so I think this is an attractive job. And, there's a culture of winning. We've seen Tennessee win before, and we've seen what that looked like when Tennessee wins. This is a team that has been to a Super Bowl, that has been to multiple AFC championship games, that has had a sustained level of success in Nashville. So definitely it's an attractive job. And Nashville is a great place to live. So at the end of the day, why wouldn't you want to come coach the Tennessee Titans in Nashville? So I like the fact that they have enough pieces in place. You got a quarterback in place. You got enough young talent in place. We talked about this during the draft. I thought they nailed the draft. They have a lot of good draft picks. Look at DK and how he's handled the special teams role. Look at what you have in Gunnar Helm. You got some good players. A.U. Maynard is a very good receiver as well. So if you could just continue to build and add, and you got Jeffrey Simmons out there catching touchdown passes. I loved in that game, he not only caught the touchdown pass, but he worked himself open. So he showed some savvy as well. But I just like the fact they got enough raw talent on this team with a young quarterback on a rookie contract. So at the end of the day, you got a lot to build on. It's a very good, attractive job, in my opinion.
Man, with a lot of weight at that one position at quarterback, Emory, I just want to ask an outside the Titans question. Emory, Tua, and decisions that have to be made about quarterbacks who are getting paid $50+ million, man. How hard of a decision that's going to be on that fifth-year option? I mean, even for a guy like Cam or C.J. Stroud or anybody else that's in that conversation, Drake May even, who's to say he's not going to have a third-year slip or whatever the case may be? You know what I'm saying? Like, I know the number don't matter because the cap has gone up, but, Emory, we're talking about potentially a $90 million cap hit if they try to let go of Tua Tagovailoa.
And that brings back to the point I was making about quarterback-proof your roster, because I feel like, we in the media business have done a fantastic job of pushing the narrative of you need a quarterback to win. You need a franchise quarterback. So now teams have overpaid some of these guys because of the threat of not having that guy. When in reality, when you think about what the quarterback position truly is, hey, it's about leadership. It's about, doing your 111. It's about being efficient. It's about, at times making 2 to 3 special throws a game. So why do you put the onus on some of these guys that they may not have deserved with their play, and now you've hamstrung your own franchise and offense as a whole? And we look at, there's a litany of guys across the NFL 120, 105-year history where you can get guys in the second round, third round, and win games. And I feel like the narrative has been, well, you can't win unless you got a quarterback in the top 5 in the draft or in the first round of the draft, when in reality, if a guy can play, he can play. So therefore, think in terms of building your team and getting a quarterback can do his job and go that way. Because when you overpay some of these players at any position, no less, it really curtails your chances of having success. So I'm saying all that to say Tua is efficient, but what Tua's issue has been, he's kind of been the same guy since he got into the league. So he's not gotten better. He has kind of plateaued. So you kind of, what you see is what you're going to get. Now that has value, but if you're going to pay a guy what you paid Tua, he has to be able to elevate every year, and that hasn't been the case for Tua. So, we're seeing someone like Trevor Lawrence kind of go through the ebbs and flows, and now he's on the uptick, and he's starting to really play with confidence. And so that's someone that you can justify, okay, we gave him the money, and he's starting to play like it. But with Tua, he was kind of staying flatline his entire time. I think that's why we kind of had that perception about him juxtaposed to the money.
Great stuff as always with a good friend, Emory Hunt. You get him on Twitter at FBallGamePlan, Football Game Plan. CBS Sports HQ does a great job covering football and the NFL draft, which will be coming up sooner than we even think, Emory. Appreciate the time as always. Have a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and we'll do it again soon.
Thanks, Emory.
Appreciate you guys. Oh, check out that Cam Ward documentary, man.
Yes.
You're that all over the place.
I love the cameo, man. Great stuff. Thank you. All right, thank you.
Appreciate
There's
it, man.
Emory Hunt with us here.
He belongs on the Tizu
this morning.
man.
Yes, he does.
Yes,
absolutely. Very good stuff.
I got time now. We all got time to check that out this upcoming week.
Yes, we do. All right, coming up, a name has emerged. Ramon Foster for Michigan.
We love this.
Pete Nakos linking a sitting Power 4 head coach to the opening of the Michigan Wolverines. I don't want you to look.
I won't.
I want you to guess and be potentially pretty surprised. We'll talk about it next. Wrapping up the show on Christmas Eve. Appreciate you spending your morning with us here on Ramon and Will, and you can continue to spend the morning or midday or afternoon or evening with us wherever you download podcasts, Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Merry Christmas, Ramon.
Merry Christmas to you too, Will.
Your last segment with us of the week.
It is. I'm looking forward to the holiday. I enjoy this time of year more than I probably should as an almost 40-year-old man.
No shame in that. It's Christmas.
None, and I'll never let anybody shame me on enjoying the holidays, man. It just does something. I think most people should be in good moods, and it does a lot, man, this time of year. I love family being around and stuff like that. Merry Christmas to you and Hawk, man. I'm more appreciative of you day by day.
Yes, sir.
As we continue to do this show, man. We've had our battles. We've had everything with this show, and man, we just pushed through.
We do.
Only thing I'm upset about, I got one thing.
Okay.
It's supposed to be 60 degrees on Christmas.
Yeah, it doesn't really feel right, does it?
I get Florida, hot weather Christmases and stuff like that.
But this ain't Florida.
This ain't Florida. We got to start healing the earth, man, or something. Like,
the earth.
Where's the Arctic blast that I need right now, man?
Usually comes in January.
It's the one day a year I want it to be cold.
That's
truly
it.
The one day.
Man, the text from Hiller came to my house, and he actually mentioned that. He was just like, I just need one cold day, and that's on Christmas.
Right.
And we ain't got it right now, man. But, hey, I'm still going to enjoy it, do my prime rib on the grill and everything else, so. We switch it up at the holiday time. We do surf and turf instead of like a traditional holiday.
I remember you saying that last year.
Dinner, yeah. I like it better that way.
I think we're doing prime rib as well.
You are doing prime rib?
I love a good prime rib.
A lot of cows out here running in pastures.
Does a cow get pardoned for Christmas like turkeys do for Thanksgiving?
We need
Probably
to.
need to.
We just bless them.
We probably need to.
Yeah. Louisville head coach Jeff Brom has emerged as a name of interest for the Michigan head coach job.
Yeah, right.
Pete Nakos with the report at On3.
Jeff Brom?
Name of interest. The careful word choice on this. Unclear at this point how far along Brom is in the process with Michigan, according to Nakos. But he is a clear name of interest. Other names that continue to come up in conversation with sources include Missouri's Eli Drinkwitz, former Utah head coach Kyle Whittingham, Chargers defensive coordinator Jesse Minter, and interim head coach Biff Poggi.
Biff who?
Biff Poggi, the guy with the tank top at Charlotte a couple years ago, got fired at Charlotte.
Oh, okay.
Who went after Will Healy at Charlotte.
Oh, yeah.
Got fired and then was on Michigan staff the past couple seasons. Yeah.
Biff, what a name.
He was the interim when Sharon Moore got suspended.
Do we still speak his name?
Sharon Moore? We can, because we're not in Michigan.
We are not in Michigan.
Well, how do you think Jeff Brom would do at Michigan? Do you think that fit makes sense?
No. I personally don't.
You've got a family connection to Louisville.
He has a family connection to Louisville.
Well, yeah, he played at Louisville.
The
right?
Brom brand is Louisville football.
For sure.
This is one of those situations like, Michigan, y'all desperate. Don't use me as your pawn or try to take, if I'm Louisville's administration is what I say.
Well, but they saved money on the buyout because Sharon Moore was fired with cause. They got buyout money to spend on a new coach.
This is very true. I just look at this as like, they shouldn't be trying to bully Louisville or Brom into thinking that he deserves to be at Michigan when it's their fault that they're in this spot right now. Like, you fired a coach for a particular reason. This is, to me, as somebody that likes to be loyal to like coaches and players and teams and stuff.
Yeah.
I look at this and kind of say, like, Brom, you are Louisville. Your family's Louisville. Your brother played there. You've coached there. And like, this is where your entire family is.
Sure.
I don't think there's any reason for Jeff Brom to want to move and go to Ann Arbor for any particular reason when he can be a legend right there in Louisville, Kentucky. I think there's more harm done to his coaching career than it would be help to Michigan at this point.
See, I think it would work. I think he'd be good there. I think Jeff Brom is an underrated head coach.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's never had full resources to be successful. I know he did not get the most out of Miller Moss and in that roster this year. I mean, they beat Miami. They kind of had their signature moment. It's the other games that are the problem for Louisville. He'll go beat a top 10 team. How do you perform consistently week in and week out when you're asked to go to 8-4 Illinois on a Saturday in late October? Can you meet the moment in games like that? Remains to be seen. I think as far as the options facing Michigan, it would be the perfect fit. the perfect fit. Him and Bryce Underwood together.
Like
terrific.
I know we're separated from that conversation because of the city. I view this as we got our Vandy quad trio, our Vandy trio in the chat right now. This to me is like Clark Lee leaving Vandy for Brown.
And that's been the discussion all offseason, right? Like a lot of these high or low P4 program coaches are at their alma maters.
They are.
Clark Lee at Vanderbilt, Kenny Dillingham at Arizona State, Brent Key at Georgia Tech, Jeff Brom at Louisville. And it looks like Jeff Brom might be the one to blink and leave his alma mater.
I got to call Nardo. He probably distraught right now.
Yeah. I mean, it would be a tough time to lose your coach, no doubt, as the carousel would continue to turn. But Jeff Brom, who was a name of note in the Penn State search, decided to stay put, has not yet signed a contract extension with the Louisville Cardinals. Remains to be seen. I think considering the options they have, he's the best one, unless they would just want to go with Biff Poggi, which, might be their next best play. Back at it tomorrow morning. I'll be flying solo. Rhett Bryan and Ron Slay will help me out. Of course, Justin as well in the control room. Remote, Merry Christmas. See you Monday.
Absolutely. Merry Christmas, good people, man. But remember, over this break, your Twitter fingers and your mic, it's always hot. Ho, ho, ho.